The Grey Cup champions are in the house and in your face. The golden smile of Kelvin Anderson has shone on many occasions this season, but there's nothing that raises Kelvin's temperature more than hitting pay dirt.
You want to go to the end zone. That's my main goal. You want to be in the end zone on every touch of the ball, so I want to get to the end zone, but if not, I want to put my team in a situation where we can get points from the field goal.
Jimmy Kemp is trying to shake off some inconsistent performances. The Argos quarterback is also trying to learn from a disastrous late loss to Calgary last month.
We're going to use that game and look at what we did well and try to continue to do those things well and look at the things that we haven't been doing well and fix those. Obviously, Calgary's a good team, and it'll be a tough game.
Travis Moore is ready to put his stamp on another big season catching passes. Willie Hampton takes pride in stopping passes, a cornerstone at the corner. While Paul Masadi, like the Argos, started slow but wants to finish strong. The road to the Grey Cup continues on this Thanksgiving weekend, and the stop today is at Skydome in Toronto. The 6-7 Argonauts taking on the defending Grey Cup champion Calgary Stampeders. These teams have won the last 3 Grey Cups, but this season have had trouble finding a rhythm. Good afternoon, I'm Tom Harrington, and welcome to the CFL on CBC Sports Saturday. Well, the Jeff Healey Band is rocking the Argos tailgate party, but the Argonauts this season at least have been singing the double blues a lot. A frustrating loss last Saturday to BC, a devastating last-minute loss to Calgary a few weeks before that. The Stampeders, on the other hand, can sing "We Are the Champions," but you get the sense from talking to head coach Wally Buono that his club, especially on offense, isn't hitting all the right notes. With their thoughts on today's matinee, here's our two-man chorus in the booth, Mark Lee and Chris Walby.
Thanks a lot, Tom. I know Walby's all warmed up and ready to go and relishing this matchup. The high-powered offense from Calgary and the top-rated defense from Toronto. And, well, defense has been the Argos' strong suit this year. It's also revealed an Achilles heel.
Well, I tell you what, that's right. They're doing a little bit of the old Kenny Rogers gambling act, and the fact that they're getting burned at inopportune times. 3 that I can think of right now that are very, very costly.
How about this one? Andrew Grigg, just before the half at Labor Day, 56 yards, sets up a touchdown and a 2-point convert to tie it.
And, of course, the last times these teams met, Marcus Daldell comes at the end of the game, comes free, leads them to the winning touchdown, and takes another victory from Toronto.
Last week right here, Eddie Brown goes downtown 78 yards, a crusher for the Argos, but there's help on the way. Donald Smith back after missing 4 games with an ankle.
You know, Mark, he's got 32 interceptions in 8 seasons, but that doesn't tell the whole tale of the tape. The thing he brings, leadership, experience, calming effect to the youngsters back there in the secondary.
At quarterback, it's hard to choose between these men, Kemp and Barker. Look at the stats, virtually identical passing, but Kemp will get the start again.
Well, I think that's what you got to do. If I'm Coach Barker, this is my man. He is my starter. He fell off the bike last week. Put him back on the bike, let him go for a ride, falls off again, put Barker in.
There'll be a short hook for him today if it happens. For Calgary, Kelvin Anderson is a threat. The Argos vulnerable on the ground last week.
Listen, he's got 4 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. But the big fact is, anytime Kelvin Anderson rushes for 100 yards, they get a victory in the win column.
And how about Calgary's quarterback Dave Dickinson, a first-year starter and nice numbers?
You know, he's missed 5 games with a broken wing. He's got bad shoulder, probably still playing through it. He's got to go for an operation in the offseason. This guy is tough with a capital T. Nice passing percentage, 64%.
At linebacker, Alondra Johnson is out with injury. Jason Clement gets his break.
Hey, listen, opportunity knocks, baby. You better be able to answer the door, and this is his opportunity. With AJ out, he gets a chance to shine at outside linebacker, and he says, I'm looking for big things today.
All right, Chris, how about your game keys?
Well, I tell you what, if I'm Calgary, I want to spread the ball around. Yeah, I know I give the ball to Anderson, but give it to Pitts, give it to Danielson, give it to Moore. On defense, make Toronto earn everything they get. Force them to do things. For Toronto, no costly turnovers. That's what's killing them. They can have more victories. And on defense, you know what you got to do? You got to annihilate the Anderson factor right now. Stuff them.
That's a tall order. Kelvin Anderson coming off his biggest game of the year, 158 yards last week against Hamilton. Let's go back down to Tom Harrington.
All right, Mark, as my mom used to say on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, go play outside, and that's what they're doing today. The roof is open at Skydome. Look at the temperature. It's like a Chinook has hit southern Ontario, 20 degrees, just perfect. The winds are very slight, very little wind inside the stadium. It will not be a factor. Mostly sunny all day long. Ideal playing conditions on this Thanksgiving Saturday here in Toronto. Coming up on our Canadian Airlines halftime report, a profile of Calgary receiver Vince Danielson. His great hands also lend a helping hand. And on Walby's Pro Tip, Chris talks with Bomber Center Dave Van Conet. Let's get it going. Back to the booth, guys.
All right, Tom, the Stampeders will kick it off here today as Mark McLaughlin tees it up. Jim Barker says that loss 29-26 3 weeks ago to the Stampeders, perhaps the most bitter defeat in his 21 years as a coach in football.
Well, he hated that one. We talked to him after the game. He said, you know what, I was counting that victory, and all of a sudden, we break down at the last second and give Calgary an opportunity to come away with a victory. That's what really hurts. You had the money in your pocket, they reached in your pocket and took it home.
A little bit of a wind here with the roof open at the Skydome, and the wind blows the ball off the tee for McLaughlin. He'll set it up again. Wally Buono, his team clinching a home playoff spot, Chris, for the 11th consecutive year, 10 of those under his stewardship.
Well, he's done great things out there. The players respect him. He runs a tight ship. We'll see Mike Pinball Clemens ready to get this ball and get the game rolling.
Clemens and Tyrone back to receive this kick. It's Clemens at the 25. Looks for a block, gets across the 30, and is stacked up just shy of the 35-yard line. Chadwick Chris making the tackle for the Stampeders as Kemp gets the start. The Argos trying to establish some order at quarterback on this team, and it's been a tough 5 games for Kemp. Ryan Terry coming off a twisted ankle, back in the lineup, but Darren Joseph replaces Tony Burse. The receiving core virtually the same as last week. We haven't heard much from Tyrone Brown lately. No touchdowns in 4 games. The offensive line with Salter and Mudge. A change at the right side with Giaskis, still injured with bruised ribs for the Argos. And Ryan Terry gets the call on the first play from scrimmage for the Argonauts. Up the middle, Kevin Johnson in on the play for the Stampeders.
Nice job of running the football and a great job by these guys up front of the Calgary Stampeders. Really happy to have Mark Gunn in the lineup, second game back. Anderson and the guy they really like, Jacobs on the outside. We talked about the fact that Alondra Johnson's not in. Kevin Johnson's in the middle, flanked by Clement. And of course the secondary, the 2 big ball hawks, Jackie Kellogg and William Hampton.
2nd and 6 for the Argos. They stay on the ground. Ryan Terry with some tough slugging close to the 40-yard line, but well shy of first down territory. So the Argos 2 plays and out in their first series here, Chris, and Terry saying that his ankle is fine when he tries to cut left or right, but when he goes upfield, that's when he feels some pain on the tendon.
Well, this is where you got to test it right now in the beginning of the game. Just a straight handoff. They're going to give it to him right now, find a hole. You see, he cuts, as you said, to the side. He's okay. Nice job of filling by Mark Gunn and Steve Anderson making the play, but this is where you got to find out how good that ankle is.
Prefontaine. Punt bounces to Marvin Coleman at his 18-yard line. Scrambling, looking for some space, and finally tracked down Mike O'Shea in on the tackle for the Argonauts. As the Stampeders, Dave Dickinson, who's missed a total of 6 games with injury, a separated shoulder and an ankle, or rather a knee injury, will get the start again at quarterback with big Kelvin Anderson in the backfield.
And big Dwayne Ford, who's finally getting a chance to carry the football. Last week, 3 carries. What a receiving crew. These guys are all catching balls. We got Travis Moore almost 1,000 yards today. Maybe it'll happen. Of course, the big addition of the Big Chill and Thomas the Railroad Raham on the right side of that offensive line.
Big Chill and the Big Heavy. That's 700 pounds of blocking on the right side of the Calgary front. And the handoff is to Anderson, and he goes nowhere. Maybe a yard on the play. The Argo defense, Kelly Wiltshire, the linebacker, waiting with open arms on that play.
Well, they know that he rushed for 158 yards. They've been watching film. They're going to break it down. Demetrius Maxey gets great penetration along with his sidekick, Jermaine Haley. Dunbrack and Perry on the outside. These guys are a force. Of course, the linebacking crew. These guys are in the top 10 of the tackling right now. And the secondary welcoming the addition of Donald Smith back to give him some experience and leadership back there. 2nd and long situation. Stampeders needing 9.5 for a first down. A flag on the play. That's intercepted. No, it's dropped. Donald Smith had the ball, hit him right in the numbers, but couldn't hold on, and there was nobody between him and the goal line. Well, that's the way you want to make your return. Unfortunately, a flag is thrown on the field on the play, and You're right. It was offside by the Toronto Argonauts. I believe it was Fred Perry jumping the gun a little bit, number 93.
Here's Glenn Johnson.
Offside, Toronto number 50, second down repeated.
So Mike O'Shea is offside, which would have nullified that interception had Donald Smith been able to hold on to the ball.
Well, the big thing, and you can see him at the top of your screen right there, he's just coming, and that is number 93. That is not number 50, and I'm not here to correct the referee, but I am a ball hawk. And they called it.
So a break for the Stampeders, second and about 4 yards to go. The ball across the 32-yard line. Dickinson straight back to pass, has time. Across the middle, Rock Preston was open, but the ball was overthrown.
Nice play, just bringing Rock Preston out of the backfield, dragging him across. Byron Capers, his job is to cover him. Rock Preston has a step on him. The ball's just overthrown a little bit, and that's going to happen early in the game right now. He gets great protection. He's just sitting there. They're bringing Michael Shea to the outside, sits back, sees the guy he wants to go to, little release valve, but early in the game, everybody's emotions a little high strung, just overthrows the football.
Tony Martino, back from the NFL with a 43.5-yard average. Had some trouble in the early going reacting to the rushes. Pinball gets set to receive. He's the lone Argo back at his 36-yard line. Rush from the outside from Andrew Henry. Pinball has the ball, gets across the 50-yard line to center field, and good field position for the Argos as they get set to go on offense for their second series of this football game. The mascot and the fans on a big day in Toronto. Back at the Sky Dome as the Argos get set to go on offense. Ryan Terry playing in this game despite the twisted ankle. Look at his yards so far this season. You know, Chris, he had over 100 yards average in the 2 games before last week when he got hurt. He accused Antonio Armstrong of twisting that ankle in the pileup in that game with BC, then celebrating it afterwards. A
little bit of an illegal tactic by Antonio Armstrong. As you see, there's Darren Joseph right there, anxious to get in there. And I talked to the general manager, Eric Tillman, yesterday. He expects big things out of Darren Joseph today, so we might see a little bit of number 20 of the Argos.
He has the longest touchdown run of the year for the Argos, 65 yards. The handoff is to Ryan Terry, breaks a tackle, then is bulldozed back to the line of scrimmage. Mark Gunn, in the middle of that Calgary defense, dislocated his wrist in the first game of the season and was out until last week. And Wally Buono thinks that Gunn, with some reps over the next few weeks, will become the heart of the defense.
Well, that's a big thing. I mean, he had his wrist operated early July, came back, and they feel it's only second game back, but big things are expected for this guy in the middle of that defense.
Second and long situation. Pinball Clements now flanked wide right as a receiver. Nobody in the backfield. Kemp rolling under pressure, gets it away. Masadi gets his hands on it. It's intercepted. Chadwick Chris gets the deflection off of Masadi and has the ball at the 50. It's finally tracked down, and it's Kemp making the tackle for the Argos. Interceptions. Again, hurting the Argos. But this one, not Kemp's fault.
Not Kemp's fault. They bring a safety blitz. Greg Frere is coming through. They got too many guys. They can't block them all. Kemp has to avoid the rush, get to the outside. As he gets to the outside, he has to force the football, throw it away. Tries to get Mazzotti, throws it a little high, goes off Mazzotti. Good contact by the defensive back. You can just see when he comes around, he sees Mazzotti, tries to throw the football there. Good job of Marvin Coleman getting up there, causing the ball to bounce, but a great athletic ability of Chadwick Chris to keep his eye, his momentum, his concentration on the football, and pick that up and give Calgary Stampeders great field position early in this first quarter.
Well, the Argos saying that they had to watch interceptions, had to let Jimmy Kemp play within the structure of the offense, and there he was forced to throw off his back foot with all kinds of pressure from Johnson on the play.
Well, Kevin Johnson's coming, as I mentioned earlier, to safety. Greg Frere is coming. They just have too many guys. They almost take a page out of the Toronto Argonaut defensive playbook by bringing one more guy than you could possibly block.
So Kemp will watch as Dickinson goes to work on the Calgary offense. First down near center field, rolling, lots of time. Throws to the sideline. A diving Alan Pitts has it for a Calgary first down just shy of the Toronto 45.
And that's what makes Alan Pitts one step ahead of all the other receivers right now. One-on-one coverage. Antonio Bonner takes him. Bonner's got good coverage. He's on it, but watch. He'll leave his feet. This is effort. The guy's played 10 years. He's still diving to make the catches.
Pitts, the leading receiver in the CFL with 1,100 yards coming into this game. And of course, the all-time career record holder in receiving yards. First down, Calgary. In Toronto territory for the first time here early in the first quarter. Dickinson with the I formation. 3 receivers right. The handoff is to Kelvin Anderson. Gets stacked up, finds a hole, and makes a decent gain across the 40 now. And just shy of first down territory.
Well, they tried to run behind the big boys, you say, the truckload over there, the Chill and Raham on the right side. Originally, the defense of the Toronto Argonauts, number 91 and 99, Jermaine Haley do a nice job. You can see Jamie Kreisel get pushed back there, but your good backs will find openings, and that's exactly what Calvin Anderson do. He cuts back, finds an opening, and picks up positive first yardage.
Anderson does virtually all of the running for the Stampeders. They average about 112 yards a game rushing. He has most of it. That's the hook pattern intended for Pitts, but it's behind him with close coverage on the play by Capers.
Nice job of coverage by Toronto. They're reading. They sat back there. Alan Pitts read the defense, ran just enough as he needed to get the first down, about 7 yards, tried to bring it back. He'll break it back down. He sees the coverage, knows he can't take him deep, comes back to the football, but unfortunately, Dickinson throws the ball where nobody can catch it.
And so the Stampeders forced to kick here. Martino standing at about the Toronto 53. Pinball Clements back to receive along with Adrian Smith. They'll be standing about their own 5-yard line. Argos setting up the return. Smith has it at the 8. Goes outside and is tackled immediately. Darryl Hall puts the lock on the shoestring tackle, and the Argos in the shadow of their own goalposts when we come back to the Sky Dome in Toronto.
To run the football.
Jim Barker said earlier this season, as we look at Jason Clement getting his break at outside linebacker, that we beat teams with boring offense, so they're going to come back with a structured offense with Kemp to work within. That time nearly intercepted again as he tries to lead Masadi, and William Hampton, who has 6 interceptions this year, 3 for touchdowns, was right there.
Well, it's a nice job. All they're trying to do is get Mitchell, who usually does the cruel route, come off the ball, go to the outside, swing Masadi back inside, but just led the ball a little too far for Paul Masadi to catch it. Gets his hands on it, but unfortunately can't come up with the catch. And you know what? They have got to get that ball and start catching. You can see a little grabbing
What's
there
that?
by Chadwick Chris on Tyrone Brown. And, you know, he's going to be talking to the refs and say, hey, watch that for me now.
Prefontaine gets the punt to center field and a bounce. He'll get 10 more yards on the play. William Hampton standing and doesn't go anywhere as he's smothered by the Argo cover team.
And field position is so important when you're down your own zone like that. Prefontaine gets a great kick. A great kick is one thing. What you got to have now, you got to have great coverage, and they got that out of their cover team.
And how about Dave Dickinson playing through injuries? A lot of people forget that he's a first-year starter. Sure, he spent 3 years under Jeff Garcia, but the expectations are so high in Calgary, they often forget this guy's had 7 or 8 starts in his career.
Well, he's a leader. That's what he is, and he's a winner.
First down, Stampeders, just across the 45-yard line. The handoff, Kelvin Anderson will have 5, maybe another 2 on the play as he approaches center field, and Kelvin Anderson just gets better as the years move on, Chris.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, he loves it. You can see 96, 59 yards. This is an average. Look at the average right now, 80 yards a game, and consequently 68 consecutive game. When you got a back taking punishment, getting hit almost every play, and he hasn't missed a game, you know you got something special.
Especially for a small man at 5'8". He has been durable in the Calgary backfield. 2nd and 4, shotgun formation. Dickinson over the middle. It's complete to Alan Pitts, and a first down for the Stampeders.
And one of the things about the Argo defense is they may not always get to the quarterback and sack you, but they will hit you, and they will hit you, and they will eventually hurt you, as evidenced last time these two teams met. The Toronto Argonauts put Dickinson out of the football game. You can see Martavius Houston just coming around the corner on a blitz. Doesn't get there in time, but he's just enough to lay a licking on him. Watch him right there. He's just going to sit there as he releases the ball. 1-2. Martavius kind of pulls up a little bit because you got to watch the referees. It's a discretional call when reffing the passer will be thrown.
Wally Buono trying to get Dickinson to release the ball faster, much like Danny McManus. Flags on the play as Brock Preston takes the handoff from Dickinson. They want him to get rid of the ball because the Stampeders lead the league with 44 quarterback sacks.
Well, that's right. They've given up the most in the league. I think the addition of Freddie Childress and Ram will help a little bit. They got some great people on this offensive line. Everybody's talking about those two guys. We're forgetting about Rocco Romano.
Calgary, number 60, first down repeated.
Jay McNeil, Jamie Crysdale. I mean, they got a great veteran group. A lot of guys that have a lot of experience in that offensive line.
So it'll be first down and 15. The ball moved back to the Toronto 54-yard line. A 5-receiver set for the Stampeders, and now Anderson leaves the backfield. Hitch pass. Travis Moore hurdles his own man. Just gets back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe 1 yard further. Mike O'Shea, the middle linebacker, makes the tackle.
Well, you know what? One of the things you gotta love is when you're doing a hitch pass. Take a look at this guy right here. Danielson is gonna go out and get the block. Moore gets the catch. Coming into your screen, you're gonna see 88 on the ground. He knocks the cornerback out. This play does nothing without the lead block, and Vince Danielson sprung that play.
Travis Moore coming into this game with 897 yards receiving, on the verge of his first 1,000-yard season. Stampeders back to pass. Dickinson across the middle. It's complete, but it might be shy of the first down. Vince Danielson making the catch and then taking a big hit from Alundis Bryce.
1 yard.
Well, he's got 632 yards coming into the game, but he's turning out to be a clutch receiver. He just knows where to go. You can just see him sitting in the middle of your screen, gets the football, but what he does, what the veteran does is he keeps the defender to his back where only he can catch the football. Nice job of shielding the safety, coming up with the catch, putting him in 3rd and short.
Here's a 3rd down gamble for the Stampeders. Little less than a yard to go. At the Toronto 39, Argos stack up the defensive line. 2 backs in the backfield. Dickinson will sneak, and it looks like he'll have enough for the first down.
Well, you should be able to get behind these guys. I mean, there's a lot of weight. You're going to about 300 pounds plus. All you do is you tell your offensive lineman there's a stack of cheeseburgers, big cheeseburgers and a bucket of chicken behind the defenders, and they'll push those guys all the way back to the end zone to get to that food.
And it was quite a heap of humanity there as McNeil finally gets off the turf.
Well, they do a great job of just getting underneath, and that's the whole key. The center is responsible for snapping the ball, but he's also the lead, the focal point, if you would, of that running play when you got the quarterback wedging behind you.
Crysdale, the 7-year veteran out of Cincinnati, at center. Shotgun snap. Brock Preston takes the inside handoff, and Mike O'Shea hog-ties him just over the line of scrimmage.
Well, these teams are really similar in defense, Mark, in the fact that on first down, they anticipate the run. From the scouting reports, they get tendencies. Do they throw first? Do they run the ball first? On this play, you can see Mike O'Shea. Everybody's sitting up tight to the line. You can see 26, Alundis Bryce. You can see they're all playing tight to the line of scrimmage. And, of course, Mike O'Shea, as you said, does a great job along with Demetrius Maxey of limiting that game.
5 receivers, but they're all bunched up behind Dickinson in the backfield for Calgary as O'Shea stares through the line of scrimmage. Now everybody downfield, nobody back. Time. Dickinson finally flushed from the pocket. Demetrius Maxey with his 8th sack of the season, and it's been a few games in coming.
Well, he is the workhorse. He gets double team a lot of time, but I tell you, they are so very, very fortunate because nobody took Travis Moore down the center of the field, and he is wide open. But the rush keeps coming, and Dickinson, who wants to throw the football there, can't get it off in time, allows Demetrius Maxey to come over and make that sack, but they would have been burned again. Look at 83 waving now. He ain't waving to people in the fans saying, hey, Mom, how you doing? He's going, Dave, throw me the football.
So Moore getting behind Kelly Wiltshire. Bryce reacting late, but if that ball was in the air, you're right. Could have been a touchdown. Martino's punt, a spiral into the end zone. Pinball lets it go over his head. Adrian Smith will let it bounce around, and Clements will concede a single point, and that's the first point of the ball game with 2:51 to go in the opening quarter. The Stampeders lead 1-0 in a defensive battle at the Sky Dome in Toronto.
Calgary Stampeders leading Toronto 1-0 late in this first quarter at Skydome. Let's give you a sense of the standings right now. In the East, Toronto is chasing Hamilton. They're one game behind. Of course, the Ticats play tomorrow against Winnipeg. If the Ticats lose, Toronto wins. A big game next Saturday between the Ticats and Argos, and we'll have that for you. Out in the West, Calgary says they still want to catch BC. They're a game behind, and the trouble is, even if the teams are tied for first, BC gets the nod because they've had Calgary's number all season long. But Wally Buono says the push continues, guys.
That's right, Tom. Buono saying they can't afford another loss if they want to keep pace or at least overcome BC. And that game next week with Hamilton, huge because it's for the season series. Here's Kemp going deep to Tyrone Brown. There's some pushing, but no call. Marvin Coleman with the coverage along the sideline.
Well, Marvin Coleman with the coverage. I was a little surprised. Tyrone Brown breaking down, stopping a little bit. I think he's got to keep running. He keeps running. He makes this catch. It's a nice job. Play action pass. Kemp sees him, puts the ball out. He's going to slow down, and then he can't reach the football. Keep going, Tyrone Brown. You're going to come up with the catch. Help your quarterback out, man. Bring Jimmy Kemp out of the funk.
Was that interference?
Well, coming back to the ball, you both have a right to challenge for the football.
So Kemp stretching the defense for the first time here in the opening quarter. He has an empty backfield now. 6 receivers set. Back to pass. Time steps up in the pocket, down the middle. It's complete to Daryl Mitchell for a Toronto first down.
And that's why it's so important when you're in Calgary, you're only rushing 3, that Toronto's offensive line gives Jimmy Kemp the time to find a receiver. Mitchell's going to come down and do his little work, fake like outside, and then just kind of crawl back in the middle. Find a hole right in front of Daryl Hall. Ball is on the money. That's what you got to do as an offense. Start getting a little continuity and a little bit of confidence.
Wow, threading the needle to Daryl Mitchell, who has 5 touchdown receptions in 5 games. This is game 6 for him. Eric Sutton, the nickelback, in on defense on that play, right next to Daryl Hall as the pass went right between them. The handoff to Ryan Terry. Up to center field and stacked up on the play. Traversy making the tackle for Calgary. The 3rd-year man out of Edinburgh University.
Well, just does a great job in the middle, 94. You know, another big kid, another 290-pounder playing, and he just does a great job of fighting off the block, not getting blown out of there. He holds his ground. Number 91, Mark Gunn, moves his guy a little bit. You close the hole, you limit the game. Nice job of the interior of the Calgary Stampeders.
Traversy, one of 16 Canadians on this team that have all been drafted by the Stampeder organization in the 90s. Tremendous scouting effort by them. Here's Kemp. It's complete. Andre Kerwin has the pass and another Toronto first down across the Calgary 40.
Kerwin just comes across the middle. He just gets a nice pass, throws the football, and turns it upfield for a nice first down. Experience will do great things for an offense.
So Kerwin running the play that's been Mitchell's bread and butter in this Argo offense. First down, Toronto at the Calgary 38. Handoff, Ryan Terry. He's got an opening, and another first down and more to the 20-yard line, and knocked down by Daryl Hall as he tried to reverse field. A huge run.
Well, if they think they're playing vanilla, they're not right now because they're coming all over with everything they got right now. Number 52, Craig Hendrickson, comes around and does a nice job. Watch this man right here. This is a big boy pulling. He gets a little ahead of him. Nice trap block. Gets 44, Kevin Johnson out of there. Ryan Torrey reads the block, turns it up for another nice gain, and you can just feel the momentum building.
The gain is 18 yards. Hendrickson, the Blue Bomber, who came this way in a trade at midseason with a huge block to open the way for Ryan Terry. Argos threatening now in the red zone. This has been a problem area for them. Kemp staying in the pocket, nearly intercepted. Jason Clement diving but couldn't scoop it before it hit the turf. And after 1 quarter of play, the Stampeders lead the Argos 1-0 with Toronto threatening here at the Skydome in Toronto. The roof is open on a glorious autumn day for football, and here are the first quarter numbers, Budo.
Well, it's evidence right here that it's becoming a defensive battle right now. 3 first downs by Calgary, 3 first downs by the Toronto Argonauts. Time of possession very even. The turnover, a big turnover on the pass deflected by Mazzotti to Calgary, gave Calgary, but the defense in Toronto is playing very well. And right now, this last drive that the Argonauts doing right now, they're moving the ball very well. And you know, Coach Barker's got to be very excited about what he's seeing out of his offense after what they displayed last week.
But now they're inside the red zone. That means inside the 25-yard line. Look at these numbers. 18 scoring opportunities, only 4 touchdowns.
Well, this is the big one right here. 7 turnovers. I mean, if you even add that up, 7 times 3 on field goals is 21 points. If you get 7 touchdowns, that's 49 points. That's a lot of points to give up and not win football games.
2nd and 10. Calgary has an extra defensive back. It's Sutton. This is the test in the red zone for Toronto. At the 20, pressure. Kemp steps up, will run, and will go nowhere. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and so the Argos will be forced into a field goal situation.
Well, once again, they have not good production in the red zone right there. Great coverage by the secondary to Calgary Stampeders. As you said, they brought in Aldi Henry, Eric Sutton, extra defensive backs. He sees something, he's looking, he's just going to try and find something, can't find nothing. Now he's going to make a decision. Take off, he tries to take off, but Traversy, all the defensive linemen, Kevin Johnson, do a great job at closing that hole. That's where sometimes a quarterback who may be a little bit more mobile can hurt you.
So Jeff Fairholm, the receivers coach, having a word with his quarterback Kemp, along with Jay Parker, as they try to figure out the frustration of the red zone. Dan Giancola will attempt this field goal from the 27-yard line. Good in 16 of his last 17 attempts. And make that another one as the Argos take the lead 3-1 here early in the second quarter.
But the biggest thing they did, Mark, is the fact that they're taking points. Don't go into the red zone and come away with nothing. Don't force a bad situation. And I think that's what happened the last time. Jimmy Kemp saw nothing. Remembers what happened last week when Lacoste got an interception that really hurt him. Says, I'm going to just, if I can't get nothing, I'm going to try and turn it into something positive. I'll run and get whatever I can, move the ball closer to the goal line, we'll kick a field goal. At least we come away with some points, and they do come away with 3.
Kemp looking strong after the interception earlier in the game to Chris. This was the scene last week against BC. A killer play. Ball at their own 18-yard line.
Well, last week, as you say, he tries to force it. He sees something right there. He drops it in. The receivers are all jumbled up together as a result. Benefield gets the knock. Ball goes up. Paul Lacoste takes it in for the end zone for a touchdown for BC. And as that play happened, the momentum of the whole game switched, and that really killed or put the nail in the coffin for the Toronto Argonauts.
And you know, the Argos are saying there were 4 mistakes on that play. One of them was the interception thrown by this man, Jimmy Kemp, but the other 3 were the routes run by Clements, Masadi, and Tyrone Brown. They were supposed to run a route that would split the defense wide. Instead, they ran towards each other. And then when Clements got jammed, Masadi had nowhere to go, and Kemp tried to force the ball.
That's what they say. You cannot readjust. You all got to be on the same page.
Brock Preston at his own 22 for the Stampeders. On this kickoff return, gets a block, tries to get outside, and is finally driven out of bounds by the kid from Western, Derek Creek. Preston with a short gain on the play. The Stampeders will start just across their own 35-yard line.
Well, it'll be up to Dickinson right now on the Calgary offense to kick a little bit of momentum built for themselves right now. They started off and moving the football a little bit. They've been a little bit of stagnant.
Major foul, face mask, Calgary number 98, first down.
The face mask call.
Cameron Legault getting the face mask, putting them even deeper in their own side of the ball right now. And they'll start at the 19 or 20-yard line.
So the Stampeders with poor field position, starting 1st and 10 on their own 20. Dickinson keeping Kelvin Anderson in the backfield. 5 receiver set. Out of the shotgun. And the handoff is to Kelvin Anderson. Up through the middle. And a tremendous fill on the play. Cameron Chance getting some help. But the man on the bottom of the pile, Kelly Wilchar.
As you said, we talked about the linebacking crew of the Toronto Argonauts. Mike O'Shea, Martavius Houston and that man that made the play there, Kelly Wiltshire, they're all in the top 10 in tackles in the league. And right now you can just see he just fills so nicely. Let the defensive lineman, they gap control. The linebacker's got to make that play, and he does come up on a play, and he makes the stuff.
It's the best linebacking core in the CFL. 5th, 8th, and 9th, as you say, Chris, in tackles so far this season. Movement on the line of scrimmage and flags as the play is blown down. And it is procedure against the Stampeders.
And you always got to love this when it happens, because whenever the flag is thrown, the defense will be pointing at the offensive lineman will be pointing at the defense. They're going at each other, but I think they're going to get the big man, Thomas Rayam.
Procedure, Calgary number 53, 2nd down repeated.
And usually when your offensive lineman is getting a jump right now, the big reason you do that is because you know you're going against a guy that's got some speed, but he sees that Wiltshire just does a little jump, and his quick twitch fiber just gets him out of his stance, and he tries to rock back, and the ref right on the spot throws the flag.
So it's 2nd down and 12. Pressure on Dickinson. Downfield, complete to Alan Pitts, who slides 3 yards past the 1st down marker, and a huge play for the Stampeders.
Well, a huge play by the Stampeders of even getting the ball off by Dave Dickinson, because I tell you what, Alan Pitts is going to run it out. He's just going to take it to the sideline. The ball's got to be thrown right now. Kelly Wiltshire comes inside on the blitz. 26, right there. Nobody picks him up. He's got to get rid of the ball, and one steamboat, it's got to be there. And that's what happens when you got a veteran like Pitts working with a veteran like Dickinson.
Dickinson paying the price, getting hit by Wiltshire and Perry on the play. He'll go on the ground. Anderson with a head of steam, but he's hit hard by Mike O'Shea right at the 35-yard line. Some help there from Maxey.
Well, we talked about when your defensive line is doing its job. And by that I mean they take care of the offensive lineman. You don't allow the offensive lineman to get on the linebackers. As a result, your linebackers are supposed to be the heroes. They got to make the plays. As you see right there's Mike O'Shea comes in there. That's his job. That's his man, and he does it well.
Big battle shaping up along the line between Maxey and Rayam. 2nd down. Dickinson in trouble. Sacked. Roger Dunbrack drops him for a loss.
Well, they're really excited to get 73 Roger Dunbrack back in the lineup a few weeks ago. But the biggest thing, again, is just keeping calm in the backfield of the secondary of the Toronto Argonauts. Good coverage. Dickinson initially has a lot of time to try and throw this football. Nothing comes open. As a result, it allows the pressure to finally get him, and Roger Dunbrack wraps him up.
2nd-year man out of Western, one of 4 Western Mustangs who all won the Vanier Cup together, playing for this Argo team. Mike Clemens is the lone Argo deep to receive this punt from Tony Martino, standing just across his own 15-yard line. Had a few blocked, Chris, when he came back from the NFL. Says he's finally got his timing back. It's a little different in the Canadian game. Gets a nice skyrocket spiral, pushing Clemens back to his 25. Mike Clemens looks for a seam, goes nowhere. Roger Reinson, who's the number 2 man on tackles on special teams for Calgary, corrals the pinball. A 54-yard punt from Martino and a 2-yard return from the pinball as the Argos go on offense.
Welcome back to sunny Skydome on the Saturday afternoon. The Argos leading these Calgary Stampeders 3-1 in the 2nd quarter. And with Dwayne Morgan, offensive lineman for the Argonauts, sprained his ankle last week against BC. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I did a lot of rehabbing last week, and feeling pretty good right now. Hopefully I'll be back next week against Hamilton.
Injuries have been a big story on the O-line for the Argos this year. How's it affected the offense when so many players have been in and out of the lineup?
Well, the offensive line, we have had a great thing of picking up Dave Mudge. Dave Mudge just came in, and he's done a great job when key guys that went down on the offensive line, and he came in, made great plays, stood up to his potential, and he's just done a great job.
Thanks a lot, Dwayne.
All right, thank you.
Well, Kevin Johnson, who's subbing for Alondra Johnson at middle linebacker, with a fumble recovery as the Argos go to their jumbo offense for the first time with disastrous consequences.
Well, you're right. They tried to do a whole bunch of stuff. They got all new people in there. They're going to have linemen in here. They'll have Martavius Houston will go in there. You can see Jermaine Haley, number 99, is in there. It's a straight handoff. 35 is leading the way. Haley, who used to be a tailback in high school, coughs the football up, and I know they were working on that this week in practice. They told him to take the gloves off because he kept dropping the ball, and that came back to haunt him.
Yeah, in practice, they gave him a goat's head. It's a bit of a prank, but it came back to haunt them here. Oh, my goodness. Donald Smith had that one lined up for the interception, and so did Alundis Bryce, and they collided. A train wreck there on the 15, and nobody got the ball.
Well, nobody's got the ball. That's the second time that the ball has kind of been thrown where it shouldn't be by Dave Dickinson, and second time that Donald Smith almost comes up with an interception. He's got it all the way, just badly overthrown football right there. Alundis Bryce is following the football, much like two baseball players going for a high fly ball. They don't see each other. Ultimately, they crash into each other, and the ball falls to the ground.
Argos dropped 2 interception chances last game against BC as well. Here's a screen to Dowdell on the backside. He'll get 8 yards on the play to about the 25-yard line of the Argos.
Well, that's one of the things for if you're, Coach Barker said, our defense is not creating turnovers. We need to create some turnovers. They only have 13 interceptions coming into the game right now. That's second worst in the league. You have to have your defense give or create opportunities to snuff out drives, but also to give your offense great positions and an instant.
Well, the Argo defense is #1 rated in the CFL. Jim Barker says, yeah, that's fine, but we need big plays from our defense. We need those interceptions.
Most definitely, Mark. You got to create opportunities, and if you can do that, you can break the backs of the guys that you're playing against and put them in a hole. Unfortunately, they didn't come away with that interception, and now they have to settle for 3 points, given up to Calgary.
32-yard attempt by Mark McLaughlin, who was 5 for 5 last week against Hamilton. On pace for 55, maybe even the record of Dave Ridgway, 59 in a single season. The kick is up and good. And so Mark McLaughlin puts the Stampeders in front by 1. More like a hockey score here at the Sky Dome. 4-3 Calgary with 9:44 to go till the half. There's Kevin Johnson, the rookie out of Ohio State, starting for the injured Alondra Johnson, and comes up with a huge play here in the first half.
Well, it's a little bit of trickery. The jumbo offense, the end of the ball eventually ends up in Jermaine Haley's hands, who can't get a handle on it, as you say. And these are defensive linemen who are not used to carrying the football, and the ball comes out, and Kevin Johnson, the man on the spot, comes up with a big fumble recovery.
First down, Argos. Kemp, hitch pass. Kerwin has it. On one knee, gets up across the 40-yard line. What an effort. Has 7, maybe 8 yards all by himself. Ryan Terry out wide side, throwing a hand on a block there too.
What a nice job. This guy is really coming into his own. You don't hear a lot about it. You hear about the Mitchells, you hear about the Tyrone Brown, but Andre Kerwin is really becoming a force on the outside. Last week, 7 catches, 73 yards. And it's not only what he does when he catches football, it's what he does after he catches the football. Look at this. I mean, this is effort. Just keeps fighting for more positive yardage, and your team picks up on that effort.
Gain is about 8 yards. Kerwin, the #2 receiver in this Argo receiving corps. The handoff, Ryan Terry, and Mark Gunn sniffed that one out, was waiting for him. A loss on the play for Toronto and a punt situation.
Well, the offensive line, we talked about the fact that they have new guys in there. Little miscommunication. Nobody picked up number 91, Mark Gunn. He's able to come right in the backfield and stuff that play before it even gets started. A little quicker, he might have took the handoff. But as you said, they got to fix these breakdowns so they can build it and keep moving the football positively.
Mark Gunn, Wally Buono says, is one area where this team is improving as it gets set for the playoffs again. Noel Prefontaine back to punt, a 47.4-yard average, tops in the CFL. Marvin Coleman, the return man. It's a fake. Here's Prefontaine. He's got a good arm. It's complete. Dwayne Dimitrition has it across the 40-yard line. And a huge Toronto first down.
And I like this. I like his attitude. I like Coach Barker's attitude. It's no holds barred. We're not playing not to lose. We're playing to win. We're going to pull it all out. Little fake sweep there. Dwayne Dimitrition just goes out there. No, this guy Noel Prefontaine must have thrown the ball a few times back in university, because he laid that on the money. And nice catch and a nice first down. And boy, I tell you what, that'll pick you up. That'll start making Calgary wonder, hey, we're in for a game today.
It's been a big couple of weeks for Dwayne Dimitrition. His wife, Lori, giving birth to their second son, Joshua, a week ago Monday. Brother for Andrew. And you know, Dwayne, as Prefontaine celebrates, Dwayne hasn't had a lot of sleep. as you and I know about that being dads the last couple of weeks, and that'll get you going. A big gain, 29 yards for Dimitrition. First down Argos at the Calgary 40-yard line. 6 receiver set. Kemp across the middle. It's complete at the first down territory, right about the 30-yard line to Daryl Mitchell.
And they're running nice timing patterns. Just get Mitchell to the open zone. He's going to look for him, throw the ball. Now he's got to be where he's throwing the football. Mitchell is, makes the catch, and as you say, it's a first down, and they keep the ball moving. But it's all timing patterns. This is what you want to do. Jimmy Kemp, when he's on fire, is one of the best. This is what they wanted to do. Get him some momentum, get him some success early, and they're doing that right now.
Jim Barker, the Argo coach, saying he's sticking with Kemp as his starter to maintain order in this Argo offense. He wants Kemp to stay, though, within the structure of the Toronto offense, not try to do something spectacular. Play action fake, roll out. It's complete to Tyrone Brown, and he's tackled by Kellogg and Coleman just across the 25. Gain is 5 yards for Toronto. Barker, his offense finally showing some promise.
Well, they're just doing a little reverse play action bootleg coming out to the opposite side of the ball. Throw the football, put it in Tyrone Brown's hands, let him try and make some moves, but as you say, great secondary. Jackie Kellogg, Marvin Coleman will have none of that and bring him down short.
All right, Chris, they're back just inside the red zone again, just across the 25. It's been a jinx for this team. 4 touchdowns, was that the total? 4 touchdowns and 18 tries, make it 19. As they settled for a field goal earlier on here in this game. Here's Kemp back to pass. 2nd and 5. It's too high for Tyrone Brown, and he's complaining that there was interference on the play by Chris.
Well, he's not happy, but it was just tight coverage by Marvin Coleman and Chadwick Christa right all over him right there. It was a nice job. He tries to, again, force the football to a situation. By that, I mean it's a timing. He knows where he's going to be. Get the ball there. See, he's pushed off a little bit right there. He is on him a little bit, but the ball's high, and Tyrone Brown reacts to the referee. Because of that,
there's a push here in the small of his back.
But the ball was uncatchable, and I think that's what the referee's looking at, the fact that the ball was over his head. Nobody was going to come down with that football.
So Chris with close coverage on the play, forcing the Argos into another field goal situation. 32 yards this attempt. 2nd of the game by Dan Giancola, the former grocer from St. Catharines, Ontario. And he is smooth and good. It's a kicker's duel in Toronto. Kemp has settled down at quarterback. The Argos lead by 2 with 6:20 till the half. Dimitrition with a 29-yard fake punt reception on that last series. This is a tough pass to throw for a quarterback, let alone a punter, Chris.
Well, that's Dwayne Dimitrition right there, and he just lines up like he's picking somebody up to block. All of a sudden, they run outside. Everybody's coming inside for the block. Mike O'Shea with the great block, number 50. But that's a great job of working on this in practice, seeing something that Calgary does and exploiting it. They do it exceptionally.
And on the Argo bench, Jay Barker, the backup, is warming up. He's been instructed to do so by Coach Jim Barker. Brock Preston returning this kick for the Stampeders, loses his footing and falls at the 35-yard line, where the Stampeders will scrimmage. A 13-yard return by Brock Preston as Dave Dickinson gets set to go for Calgary.
Well, Dave Dickinson and the Calgary Stampeders have got to get things a little going right now. It is a defensive battle, but as you can tell by the first 5 possessions, 1 field goal and 4 punts. And that'll drive any head coach a little crazy.
Top defense in the country in Toronto so far, shutting down this high-powered Calgary offense. The handoff is to Kelvin Anderson, but there's a crowd waiting for him right up the middle for the Argos. A short gain on the play. Let's go down to Tom Harrington.
Well, Mark, Argos linebacker Mike O'Shea has had his left thigh heavily taped not once but twice in this first half. The training staff says it's a tight hamstring. They're just keeping an eye on it. Right now he seems to be okay, but we'll have to keep an eye on it ourselves as the game wears on.
You don't want to lose the cog of your defense, the man who makes all the calls.
Well, not only on defense, but on special teams as well. And as you say, J.P. Darch would have to come in and, you know, a good football player, but not the experience or the level that Mike O'Shea has.
Blitz, that's O'Shea, and boy, did he rock Dave Dickinson. His pass incomplete.
You know, Mark, we talked in the game opening about the toughness of Dave Dickinson. they don't recognize. They see the blitz coming. Michael Shea's just coming off the corner. He's going to come in at the bottom of your screen. Nobody picks him up. He's got to get rid of the football. He does that. The receivers have got to also see that, adjust their routes so that the ball can be completed. But as you say, he just takes a licking and almost like a Timex keeps on ticking.
Well, it's no wonder that he leads the league with 5 forced fumbles with the kind of ferocity he delivers there. Dickinson looks like he's okay. Don't forget, he's playing with a shoulder injury, separated earlier in the season. He will need surgery and take 4 months to recover, so he's putting that off to stay in the game.
And don't forget that Michael Shea is the one that put Dave Dickinson out last game with a vicious hit on a screenplay.
It injured his knee, and this punt attempt by Marino is blown down. The time count clock had ticked to 0.
Well, a lot of times when you do get a time count, you make it look, the offense is not sure who they're blocking. So what's happening is you're getting a lot of miscommunication up there on the line. One guy, oh, I got 50. No, I got 50. As a result, the punter hears that there's confusion. Rather than risk a block punt, he'll let the clock run out, do it again.
They'll have to put all kinds of leg into this one, Martino rather, as Mike Pinball Clemens stands back at his 34. The lone Argo back to return this punt. Martino gets it away, a beautiful punt that pushes Clemens back to his 20-yard line, tries to make a move, and Aldi Henry just falls on him as Clemens loses his footing. Well, tremendous punt by Martino, 50 yards, the 6-yard return.
Well, you can see Jimmy Kemp is on the sidelines right now, so Jay Barker has now entered the game to take control of the quarterbacking situation for the Toronto Argonauts, and we'll see what he can do if he can do some of the magic he did last week, Mark.
Well, he has been great off the bench, 12 of 15 last week for a touchdown and a field goal. Back on August the 6th, 16 of 19 and 2 touchdowns off the bench to beat Winnipeg. Let's see what he can do now as Kemp, the starter, watches from the sideline. First down, Toronto, their own 20. Hand off to Darren Joseph, his first carry of the game, and a short gain on the play. Back down to the sidelines and Tom Harrington.
Okay, Mark, I just watched Jay Barker warm up. He put his helmet on. Jim Kemp is standing on the sidelines, hands on his hips, and he's not crazy about the 2-quarterback offense. He described that yesterday. Jeff Fairholm from the Argos coaching staff says he doesn't know how long Barker will be in. We don't know what that means. We assume if he doesn't produce, he'll be out again.
Well, yesterday at the coach's press conference, as Jeff Fairholm looks over the ready list for young Jay Barker, order was what they wanted in this Argo offense. Wally Buono saying, offering his 2 bits. Quarterback roulette, he says, is like Russian roulette. It can blow up on you. But here the Argos will go with 2 men. Barker rolling. It's nearly intercepted. Tyrone Brown was down. He was the intended receiver, and the ball went in and out of Chris's hands. But Brown says he was interfered with.
Well, there's a flag on the play, and he said that last time that Shadwick Chris got his hands all over him too much. Jay Barker breaks contain. Steve Anderson allows him to get to the outside. One of the things that Jay Barker can do.
Offside, Toronto, number 33, penalties decline, 3rd down.
But very, very fortunate that Chadwick Chris did not come up with that interception.
Ball was thrown right at him, Chris.
Well, he's going to break contain. He's just going to come right now. Ryan Terry right there just crosses the line a little bit too early right there, just trying to get a jump on the defensive back. As a result, the ref throws it, nullifies the play, and they are very fortunate, as we said earlier, that Shadwick Chris did not come up with the interception. It was thrown right at him by young Jay Barker.
A shaky start for Barker. And now Noel Prefontaine, the top punter in the league, will have to get this one away. Bad field position from his own 10. He shanks it. It's a line drive. Caught by William Hampton just across center field over the 50 to the 45-yard line and dropped right there. So field position now a factor with 3:28 to go in the first half. Only a 35-yard punt from Prefontaine. Kelvin Anderson with 158 yards on the ground last week.
He's only carried the ball 6 times almost in the first half, and that's a little low, below the average that he'd like to carry the ball. He says he likes to carry it between 25 and 30 times a game. He thinks the more he carries it, the more productive he can be.
The Argo defense stiffening perhaps in this game against the run. They were the best in that category until last week. Play action, rolling right, Dickinson. It's intercepted! Adrian Smith has it for the Argos at the 45 and dropped from behind by Marcus Dowdell. secondary. Comes up big for the Argos. A 10-yard interception return for Adrian Smith. And Toronto goes on offense with 3 minutes to go here in the second half. The intended man is Danielson, but Smith was waiting in the weeds. Smith with his third interception of the season. And Chris, this ball was thrown late by Dickinson.
Well, they're just going to run a little play action to the opposite side of the field. Just going to fake it.
We'll show that to you in a minute as the Argos go 1st and 10. Barker complete to Tyrone Brown. He's got the first down at the 50-yard line for Toronto. Here's another look at that interception by Adrian Smith.
What we're doing is we're just going to fake like we're going to the left side. Little play action pass to Kelvin Anderson right there. Just put it like you're going to put it there and pull out to the opposite side of the field. That works great. It gets you outside. Unfortunately, what it also does is it allows your defensive back who's playing cut covered, Adrian Smith, to make the play on Vince Danielson, come back and get the football. If it's quicker, it's a catch. It takes too long, it's an interception.
First down, Argos. There's a fumble. Jay Barker falls on it for a loss of maybe 2 on the play. An exchange problem there, it looked like, with Darren Joseph. So again, the Argos having trouble holding onto the ball.
Well, they need to do something positive with this yard. If it wasn't for the fake punt last time, they basically were running 5 possessions and punting. So they need to get something going right now, get some points, go into halftime and make some adjustments. Get everybody on the same page right now so you can come out refocused in the second half.
Looked like Barker made the fake there and maybe bumped the ball on an elbow. Of course, the quarterback's looking downfield when he makes that fake, not looking where he's putting the ball. Rolling right, Jay Barker stops. He's got pressure and is sacked for a huge loss. Back across center field, and it's Kevin Johnson who is subbing with a magnificent performance for AJ at middle linebacker. A 7-yard loss on the play.
Well, just a great job of Kevin Johnson coming up here. They pull the whole left side. You can see Chad Folk and St. Germain coming outside. Give him protection now. He's got to either make a decision. Should I take off with the ball or throw it? As a result of him hanging on to it, though, he allows Kevin Johnson to come up and make a big play and force again another punting situation.
In the past, that's been one of Barker's problems, indecision in reading the defense and making a play. The punt from Prefontaine, taken by William Hampton across the 25 and dropped at about the 30-yard line. Let's go down to Tom Harrington.
All right, Mark, and just a reminder that coming up on our Canadian Airlines halftime report, a profile of Calgary receiver Vince Danielson. Great pair of hands and also lending a helping hand in Calgary. And on Walby's Pro Tip, Chris is talking with Bomber Center Dave Ancona. That's coming up on our Canadian Airlines halftime show. Mark?
What's Venky got in store for the Pro Tips this week?
You just won't be able to go to the fridge at halftime. You have to stay around and watch.
That was a 38-yard punt from Prefontaine following a 35-yard punt before that. 20 yards subpar for him. First down, Stampeders at their own 30. Shotgun formation. Dickinson with time. To the far sideline, wide open, but overthrown is Marcus Dowdell. Right at the first down marker. A reminder that if you've got a question for us, would like to make an inquiry about the CFL, or vote for the top Canadian all time, join us on our CFL on CBC website. We've been voting here, the broadcast crew. Chris, you've got a vote, and apparently you've been logging. There have been a lot of votes coming out of Winnipeg for you.
That's right. Large family. Large family.
Of course, a 9-time All-Canadian. You've got some credentials to be considered here, big fella. Second down and 10. Dickinson gets around Maxey, throwing off his back foot. Danielson wide open. First down, Stampeders at center field. That's twice the Calgary receiver has been wide open.
Well, I think the biggest thing that's happened so far in this first half is Dave Dickinson is not happy with the way he's throwing the football. He's forcing situations, and he's overthrowing a lot of potential receivers. That time, as you say, again, the receiver is open, and luckily the ball is there quick enough that the defender cannot close on it and knock it away. He is wide open. He's waving. I want the football. Give me the football. Finally gets it. But as you can see, there's Wiltshire, there's Donald Smith. He finds the pocket, finds a hole.
25-yard completion for the first down. Dickinson going deep. Dowdell, Adrian Smith. It's intercepted again by Adrian Smith. His second pick of the game. Returning it across the 40 to the 50. Still going. Center field. Finally dragged down by Jamie Crysdale.
What a great job of not only keeping the ball out of Marcus Dowdell's hand, but what great athletic ability of putting one hand up football and then making a great return. He's just going to stretch the defense, throw it deep. He's got him covered. One hand, knock the ball down, turn your body around, mid-flight, catch the ball, and turn it up the field the other way. You can't do it any better than Adrian Smith just did it in that play.
Adrian Smith playing the short side, one-on-one in man coverage with Dowdell, and a 45-yard return. What a tip, first of all, to go up high for the ball and then make the pick. That pass dangerously thrown near Kellogg by Jay Barker, intended for Darryl Mitchell on the play, as Smith savors his second interception of the game and fourth in the season.
The fans are a little upset with that one. I'll tell you what, had Jackie Kellogg played the football instead of worrying about making a tackle, he would have took that Jay Barker throw and taken it all the way to the end zone and spiked it on him. They're very fortunate. Both offenses are getting away with some very crucial mistakes right now.
Kellogg is a ball hawk in this secondary with 5 interceptions this season, 1 fewer than the leader on this team, William Hampton, at 6. Second down and 10. Barker has looked shaky coming in for Kemp, who looked smooth in the last couple of drives. Here he goes deep. It's nearly intercepted. Aldi Henry had the ball go right through his hands. The intended receiver was Tyrone Brown, and now the boos come out for young Jay Barker.
Oh, the boos do come out for young Jay Barker. There's nothing more deflating to a team than having a great play, as evidenced by Adrian Smith with his second interception in the game, giving their offense great field position, and their offense comes out and poof, 1-2, and they're out again. And it's not even that they're close. This ball is terribly overthrown, and Aldi Henry should have come up with an interception. Jackie Kellogg could have took the ball last play. They have got to get this reorganized and get it straightened out, or it's going to be a long second half for these Toronto Argonauts.
Argos, 7 drives, 2 and out, and a huge spiraling punt from Prefontaine into the Calgary end zone. Marvin Coleman is back, running out the clock with 1:20 to go, and steps out of touch for a single point for the Argos. And so now Toronto will lead by a field goal, 7-4, on that booming 62-yard punt, and the frustration written all over the face on Toronto coach Jim Barker.
You know what, Mark? Last week we saw Jimmy Kemp struggle. Barker put in Jay Barker. He comes in, has a great game, plays very well. He says, you know what? I've got something now. I've got momentum. Jimmy Kemp comes in, but I think Jimmy Kemp didn't play that bad the first time. He seemed like he was coming on in the second quarter, but I guess he said, let's sit him for a second, put Jay Barker out and see what happens. I would not be surprised if Jay Barker doesn't pick it up, that we'll see Jimmy Kemp re-enter this football game.
Kemp led 2 drives down to the red zone that both ended in field goals. So far, Barker has looked a bit scattered coming in off the bench. But what do you do now? You're into that roulette situation with quarterbacks. Play action, or rather shotgun situation for Calgary. Dickinson is complete. Marcus Dowdell making the reception for Calgary. Adrian Smith with 2 interceptions, closing quickly to make the tackle on the play.
And Calgary's going to go with the hurry-up offense right now, not allow the Toronto defensive coordinator, Echeverry, to send in the calls to his defense. Let's get him going, see if we can get a breakdown.
Wally Buono looking on at his first-year starter, Dave Dickinson. Came into the game with a 64% average, can't find a receiver, and is sacked. Roger Dunbrack with support on the play from Perry and Jermaine Haley.
Why don't we just say the whole defensive line was in the backfield, because there was a lot of blue shirts around that one white shirt. I mean, they just come great pressure of just beating protection, and they shouldn't with only 3 guys. There's no way this should happen right now, and you can see Roger Dunbrack with the second sack of the game. He's loving this game. He says sometimes things just fall into place, and they are falling in place for Roger Dunbrack this afternoon.
Entire Argo defensive line in the face there of Dave Dickinson, who's had a frustrating first half.
But you know what, Mark? Let's get back to the basics. They're not running Calvin Anderson. They're trying to throw the football every play now. To be successful, you have to mix up your offensive scheme. Don't sit there and get stereotyped by one thing, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to force the football, throwing it. Get Calvin Anderson back involved in the game.
There's Anderson on the sideline looking frustrated himself as Martino gets another beautiful spiral away. Clements across his own 20, reverses field and goes nowhere. Great cover team play there for Calgary. Turnovers, another first half story here in this football game, Chris. Here they are.
You know, I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, there's a lot of turnovers out in Shadwick. Chris gets the first interception, then there's a fumble by Jermaine Haley that eliminates a Toronto drive. But Adrian Smith has done 2 great things. He steps in front of Vince Danielson, makes a great interception, and then a couple series later does a great athletic play of taking the ball away from Marcus Dowdell. But you gotta capitalize on offense with these plays. You can't just keep taking the ball away and giving it back or punting the football.
Sure, head coach Jim Barker shares your thoughts. Adrian Smith having a great first half.
And that's not the look of a happy guy. He's only carried the ball to 6 or 7 times. He says, I want to carry it more.
Has he got ice? Has he got ice? Sorry, Chris, he got ice on his chin there. Looks like he's icing himself there.
Well, if he's got a sore chin, I wouldn't think it's being hit because he really hasn't carried the football. And most running backs, even if they have a toothache or something, will still play through it. They can shoot it up at halftime. I think he's just more frustrated, Mark, that he's not become an integral part of the offense. They haven't thrown him the football either. You know, I mean, if you're going to do that, at least get the hands into the guy.
Argos on the ground. Darren Joseph up the gut for a first down as Toronto stays conservative here deep in their own end.
Well, I don't think it's conservative, even though it's the end of the half. I think you got to start utilizing both sides of the football. Toronto as well has done the same thing that Calgary's been trying to do, and that is force the football, throw the football every down. You've got to establish the running game to make the linebackers respect you, to get up closer to the line.
And off again, they stay on the ground to Joseph. There's a helmet on the field. Somebody lost their head there in the middle.
That's big newcomer Mark Gunn losing his head. He lost a wrist earlier in the year, and he said he'd donate a little bit of that. He lost his helmet on that play. But I tell you, they're doing a nice job, the offensive line of the Toronto Argonauts, of pushing, getting guys and getting pushed. That's a nice combination block, and a nice job of Darren Joseph of breaking a tackle and turning it into something positive.
Flags on the play as there's some pushing and shoving after the tackle. Argos needed about 2.5 yards for a first down. Calgary, the most penalized team in the CFL, averaging more than 10 penalties a game. Here's Glenn Johnson.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Calgary number 91, first down.
All right, so there's Gunn losing his head again.
Well, I think, you know what, a lot of times, as a result of the previous player situation, you get a little angry, you take it out, and number 91 doesn't like that. He gets in there. Must be something. You can see him come to his player's defense right there, and they always catch the second guy.
Argos looking to get into field goal range here. Pass intended for Ryan Terry is too far and incomplete. 19 seconds to go to the half. Argos need about 20 yards, 15 or 20 yards to get within Giancola's range to try to kick a field goal before the half.
Well, you know they got to throw the ball. Again, it's just a situation of Jay Barker putting the ball, trying to lead the receiver, in this case Ryan Terry, but just leading him a little too far. If he can get a little unwired, by that I mean calm down a little bit, I think we can see some good things from the quarterback of the Toronto Argonauts.
Giancola good on 18 of his last 19 attempts, warming up on the bench. Barker going deep. Mitchell's open, and he's got it at the 35. The clock stopped with 13 seconds to go before the half.
Well, we just talked about the ball having to be on the money. Mitchell runs a nice route, finds the opening. Jay Barker delivers the mail, puts it right in the slot, right in the hands of Daryl Mitchell. And as you say, with 13 seconds left, they put the ball in Giancola's range. But let's start saying they want to get some points. They want a touchdown this time. They don't want to settle for a field goal.
Barker will run. No, he'll throw. He's got a man open. That's Mitchell. Oh! Tried the one-handed.
We got the one-on-one coverage with Jackie Kellogg. Beats the rush. This is one of the things, the virtues of Jay Barker, is he can get open a little bit, have a little bit more time for the receiver to find it open. He throws the football, as you can say, just over the outstretched hand of Daryl Mitchell. And Jay Barker says, oh, I want that one back, because I guarantee he says 6 out of 7 times, I'll put it on the money.
So Barker looking more composed on that series. 6 seconds to go. No time for another play to try to score a touchdown. Second down here, ball at the 35. Calgary's called a timeout on the play as Giancola puts his tee down at the 42-yard line. So a Calgary timeout, but Giancola has been successful on both kicks so far.
Well, I think if you got a timeout with 6 seconds left, use it. Make the kid think about the kicking. Hey, he's kicking great. He's having a great year kicking the football, but there's always an opportunity. You get him to think about it sometimes. He doesn't get out there and just go into his natural golf swing of a rhythm. You just got to do this. But you know what? They're getting points. Granted, they haven't scored many things. You see Jimmy Kemp and Jay Barker on the sideline, but they'll come away with 3 points the way Giancola's kicking. They'll go into the halftime with the big thing, which is the lead, and now it's up to the coaching staff to make the necessary adjustments to come out strong in the second half.
Giancola will kick from the 42 on the left hash mark. Prefontaine to hold. Giancola smooth again and good. So Calgary now trailing by 6 points. Their vaunted offense, anemic in the first half. Barker looking stronger on that last series. And now what do you do? What do you talk about at halftime? Do you come back with Barker or Kemp?
I think he come out with Barker just the way he threw the last ball. Had he not hit Mitchell on that last play, I think there might have been some question. But I think the biggest thing is you cannot commit that Russian roulette with the quarterbacks of saying, I'm going to go back and forth and back and forth. Giancola, he's excited. He's getting the fans into it. He says, hey, let's go, baby. We're in a football game here. Get excited. He's telling his teammates, I'm doing what I can. Come on, everybody else, let's do your job.
Amazing story. He's never played college or university football. Having a tremendous rookie season here as a kicker for the Argos. Dickinson will take a knee and run out the clock. Here in the first half at the Sky Dome, Stampeders yet to score a touchdown. Same story for Toronto, but they've got the lead 10-4. Let's go down to Tom Harrington.
All right, Mark, with the head coach Jim Barker of the Argonauts, you had the lead coach and you changed quarterbacks anyway. Why that decision?
Well, we weren't doing anything. We just felt, you know, sometimes a change. These are two different kinds of quarterbacks. You know, give us a little bit of spark, and Jay had the nice drive toward the end, which was good. But offensively, we're just inconsistent. We need to be more consistent if we want to be a good football team.
What's your plan for the second half? Who's going to start?
Well, continue to play great defense and don't turn the ball over. Again, we gave them 2 turnovers, and we can't do that. And so we got to continue to protect the football, play great defense like we're doing, and continue hard on our special teams.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Coach Jim Barker, the Toronto Argonauts, they lead the Calgary Stampeders 10-4 at halftime. Coming up, our Canadian Airlines halftime show. More from Toronto when we come back on this Thanksgiving Saturday on Sports Saturday on CBC right after this. Stay with us. Spectacular Saturday in Southern Ontario. The Toronto Argonauts leading the Calgary Stampeders by a score of 10-4. We are at halftime here at Sky Dome. And welcome to the Canadian Airlines halftime report. Calgary receiver Vince Danielson has perhaps some of the best hands in the CFL, but fate once dealt him a bad hand. But then it was the kindness of a stranger, in a way, a Canadian football legend, that touched him in a way he's never forgotten.
I think you get certain opportunities, especially early in your career as a professional football player, and you have to make the most of them. Now that could be in practice, or that could be someone getting injured and coming in a game. My rookie year, Dave Sapon just went down. I had to come in and fill in for him for 7 games, and I had to. That was my opportunity to go in there, and that's the way I looked at it.
Flutie over the middle. There's Danielson. Vince Danielson, touchdown! The rookie gets into the end zone for the first time in his CFL career.
When I went out there and Flutie threw me the ball, that I was going to make a play on it. And I've always thought of that way in my career, no matter what opportunities that come my way, that I'm going to go out there and hopefully I'm going to make plays. I'm 215 pounds and I've got to be out there and be physical. That's one of the strengths of my game, is to be a big target and be physical in my routes. And also catching across the middle.
There's Vince Danielson over the middle. And again, it's been a familiar refrain.
When I'm running across the middle, all I see is the ball. I mean, I really don't see anything else but the ball. I think that's, the ball's in the air and it's yours, you got to go get it. But I think hopefully the good receivers out there, all you see is that ball. If you see other people around you, or if you see this guy coming, you're not looking at the ball. So really when the ball's in the air, I just see it turning and I go get it.
Danielson doesn't fear going over the middle because he has faced a far greater threat, and that has led to a program close to his heart.
Well, Every Yard Counts started way back when I was a teenager. I had cancer and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma when I was 15 years old. And as I was going through that, going through the chemotherapy and the spinal taps and really trying to survive, I had a Canadian football player visit me at home. His name was Louis Pasagula. And so Louis visited me at home, and really what he did that day was he broke up my routine of going to the hospital, getting my blood count. He made me focus on something other than what I was going through. As I became a professional football player, I looked back on that experience and I said to myself, if I can still remember that experience this day, that 20 minutes that he took out of his day to come and visit me, if I can still remember that and had that much of an impact on me as a child and what I was going through, I knew that I could have the same impact on the kids out there in the hospital. So I started the Every Yard Counts program, basically taking kids from the hospital, 2 kids a game, bringing them out, letting them enjoy the game experience, bringing them in the locker room after the game and letting them enjoy the locker room experience with the guys and getting the pictures and the autographs. It's not a quantity program. We're not trying to affect 1,000 kids or raise millions of dollars. It's a really quality program. We're really trying to affect a couple children every game and really make their life a little bit easier from what they're going through.
Tips with Chris Waldy. Brought to you by Dodge.
Welcome to Pro Tips. An important part of any successful offense is the running game. And with me today is one of the premier centers in the Canadian Football League, Mr. Dave Van Konen.
Thanks, Chris, and you're absolutely right. As an offensive lineman, we want to be able to run the ball, and it's an important factor of the game. And if you don't do it properly, you find yourself in the unemployment line quickly. I'm going to demonstrate it using 3 key points. We want to have a wide base, we want to have our hands inside, and we want to stay lower than our opponent. And I'm going to demonstrate that. First step is short. Second step, hands inside and extend the defensive lineman, and you want to get as much movement off the line of scrimmage to allow that running back a place to run. We're going to have Chris here demonstrate. First step is short, Chris. Second step, hands inside. Excellent. What you want to do is make sure you're just a little lower than your opponent, and you want to drive out. We'll try that one more time. Short step.
Another great tip from a great pro. Excellent. And remember, you can use this tip in the wintertime if your car gets stuck in the snow. Try it, you'll save yourself a ton in tow charges. Talk to you soon.
I wish I'd known that in all those Montreal winters I lived through. Thanks, Chris, for that. Calgary trailing the Toronto Argonauts 10-4 at halftime. I know that Jim Barker told his players at practice yesterday they had to play with a sense of urgency on the Argonauts side. I think, Mark, they indeed have done that.
Well, Tom, I would say the word frustration might sum up the first half for both teams. 4 turnovers, 2 for Calgary, 2 for Toronto.
I think the story is that both offenses are really, really struggling right now. Dave Dickinson is just not doing the job. He's forcing the ball. He doesn't seem comfortable reading the receivers right now. Jimmy Kemp had some trouble. Jay Barker's in there. But as you say, the turnovers. This started off in the first play. Paul Mazzotti's going to get the football. Coleman closes on him. The ball goes, and Chadwick Chris comes up with a big key interception for the Calgary Stampeders.
And how about Dave Dickinson? Came into this game with a 64% completion average and only 7 interceptions on the season, but he's had 2 in the first half already.
Well, of course, he tries to throw this, and a nice job of Adrian Smith with his first and 2 in the first half. Just jumps in front of Danielson. One of the things that I'm finding are the receivers are sitting back, waiting for the football to come to them, rather than going and meet the football, allowing Adrian Smith to do that. But I tell you what, this second interception is fantastic. Not only does he keep the ball from Dowdell, puts one hand up, knocks the football down, has enough composure to turn around, catch the football, and turn it up for a nice gain on a return after catching this interception. Nice job of Adrian Smith in the first half.
So the Argo secondary, which has been burned in recent weeks, is coming up strong for Toronto. Looks like they're going to try to win this game with defense, but Calgary is known for making strong halftime adjustments. We'll see what they come with here as we get set for the second half at the Sky Dome, 10-4 Toronto. Welcome back to the Sky Dome in Toronto, where the Argos lead the Stampeders 10-4 as we get set to start the third quarter of play on a glorious autumn afternoon here in Toronto. Both Argo quarterbacks have been warming up. Jimmy Kemp, who started, then got pulled in the second quarter, deferring to the backup, Jay Barker, who looked strong just before the half, leading them to that 6 second to go field goal. And on the Calgary sideline, Dave Dickinson, who's been harassed, bumped, thrown 2 interceptions in the first half, having a tough game here in Toronto.
You're right, Mark. It'll be really interesting to see who actually does get the start in the second half. It looks like it's going to be Jimmy Kemp, as he has the helmet on as he's throwing the football. And see Adrian Smith on the sideline there contemplating, you know, what more can I do, guys? 2 big interceptions. I guess I just got to take it all the way back to the house myself.
Relaxing in the sunshine as Mark McLaughlin will kick it off here in the third quarter. Tyrone Brown has it at his own 16-yard line. The speedster behind 5 Argo blockers, looking for a hole across the 35, outside to the 40, and finally guided out of bounds at the Calgary bench by Rock Preston. Let's go down to Tom Harrington, who spoke with Calgary coach Wally Buono moments ago.
Head coach Wally Buono of the Calgary Stampeders. Wally, we hardly saw anything of Kelvin Anderson in that first half, a 1,000-yard rusher. Why was that?
Well, Kelvin ran the ball. We just didn't stay on the field long enough. Every time it seemed like he ran the ball, we got 5 yards, except we couldn't execute on second down.
What are your plans for second half?
Well, again, we got to pick up the level of intensity, and we got to complete some passes. I mean, I know Toronto's good on defense, but we're making them look a whole lot better than they really are.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Wally still seems agitated after the half. First down, Argos. Handoff to Darren Joseph. Up the gut. Mark Gunn stacks him up and drives him back across the 45-yard line. Short gain on the play of 4 yards as we look at the first half stats.
Well, the time of possession very even. Turnovers even, 2 apiece. The offense is really struggling, as you can evidence there. Yards rushing, Calgary 25 yards. I mean, Calvin Anderson, a non-factor in the first half. For them to be successful, they got to give him the ball more the second half. Ryan Terry as well, only 31 yards. The quarterbacking situation more of a concern in Toronto right now, as we see Jay Barker at the quarterback helm.
Barker will stay in the game at quarterback. Start the second half for Toronto, and he'll go deep. Daryl Mitchell is turned around. The pass was behind him. Incomplete. And a punt situation on the first offensive series for Toronto.
A punt situation, but I like the way they came out. They handed the ball off. Darren Joseph gets some yards, then they go deep again vertically. Get Daryl Mitchell deep. Jackie Kellogg, nice job of coverage on it, but the ball is around where it should be. He throws it where only the receiver can catch it on that instance. It's not caught by anybody. You go back to the sidelines, you say, hey, you know what? We almost clicked, but we're on the same page. We're getting closer. Give the ball if you don't like it.
Prefontaine to punt from his 25. A high spiral, sending Coleman back inside his 10. Push on the back of Capers, but no flag as Coleman gets around him and up to about the 16-yard line, where Calgary will scrimmage 1st and 10. Here's Kelvin Anderson, who had a huge game last week but has been rather silent, Chris, here.
Well, the guy carries the ball 26 times. He's touching the rock 26 times last week, 158 yards. He's only carried it 6 for 23 in the first half. I don't care what anybody says. If you're getting production and if you're getting 5 yards of crack every time you get the ball, then you only need to give him twice to get a first down, then give it to him twice.
The last time these teams play, Dickinson and McCoy passed for 357 yards. The handoff, Anderson off the right side, a flag on the play, and a big gain for the small running back for the Stampeders. Flags are down. And the indication is it'll be holding.
Well, Mark Reitschar, anytime they throw the ball or the flag in the back.
Holding, Calgary number 67. First down repeated.
Jenny Crysdale, the center, called for holding. And so that'll move the ball back to the 8-yard line.
He just gets a hand. You can see him right at the top of your screen right there, just pulling down Jermaine Haley, number 99, by the back of the sweater. And of course, that line judge is right in front of you, and he's going to see that every time.
Well, that was a blatant hold. Now Calgary in tough field position. They need to get to the 27 for a first down. They'll hand it off to Anderson. Lots of room right through the heart of the Argo defense and close to the 25.
Well, nice run. I mean, this is just getting a man on a man. And you know what? Your offensive lineman in the first half, if you're only running the ball 6 times, you're doing a lot of pass pro sets. Now they're coming off. You got a nice double team. Fred Childress, great block right there at the point of attack on the middle linebacker, Mike O'Shea. He reads that block. Good yardage. This is what you got to do to be successful as an offense.
The gain is 16, make it 2nd and 2. Calgary trying to get out of its own end. High formation, full backfield. Handoff to Anderson, following the block of Dwayne Ford, and he will be shy of the first down marker. Kelvin Anderson, who says he's not much at zigging and zagging, but his game is at its best when he goes straight ahead.
Run between my guards and tackles. You know, I just like the field, but I don't like the outside game. I'm a north and south runner. I like to run between my big guys, and I think that's my strong point right now.
Well, that 16-yard game was north and south, but the last one falling short. Mike McCoy has come into the game at quarterback for the Stampeders on this 3rd down situation.
Well, I think he brings up an interesting point, Mark, and the fact that if you're going north and south, you're hitting the hole right now. This is where I got to go. Anytime that you run laterally, you're allowing the defense to stretch you out and allow backside pursuit to get to you.
3rd down gamble for the Stampeders in their own zone. They've been good on 1 of 1 so far in this game. 3rd down gamble. McCoy with the quarterback sneak and a huge pileup, but it looks like he'll have it, Chris.
Oh, he's got it. He gets behind there. And what happens, a lot of times you'll see the defensive lineman flying over the top, and you think, that's a great play for the defense if you have a back that's leaving his feet trying to jump over the pile. But if they're up on the ground, that means that the offensive linemen are underneath them and are moving them out. Therefore, the quarterback, watch him get underneath this. Look at the pad level. It's right there. That's perfect. These guys are going over the top. They're a non-factor in that play.
So it's a first down for Calgary at their own 26. Rolling right, Dickinson will throw and complete in tracks, and Vince Danielson has it across the 30. Right between Wiltshire and Adrian Smith.
Nice job of just doing a half roll and hitting Vince Danielson on the goal right now. Finds a little opening, does it. One of the things I'd like to see Calgary's offense do, though, and they haven't done it yet, is stretch this defense. Let's go deep a little bit right now. Get those guys, get a little separation out there. Open up the field for your receivers.
Well, Wally Buono saying his offense was making the Toronto defense look better than it was. Is getting a decent first series here in the second half. Second down and 4. Dickinson with 5 steamboats. It's complete to Rock Preston right at the line of scrimmage, but he's driven back on the play by Byron Capers. Great fill by the Argo DB.
They ran that play early in the first quarter. Just brought Rock Preston across the middle, give him the ball, let him turn it up a little bit. As a result, they get a first down. This time, Byron Capers will have nothing of it. You can see him crossing the middle of your screen. Little dump pass right there. Capers is sitting right at home where he has to be in his zone protection. Makes the play, takes him down, and they got to punt the football.
Preston looked like he was open across the middle. Had the ball been delivered sooner, he may have been able to make a move. Punt from Martino. Taken by Pinball Clemens. A juke at the 45. And he has nowhere to go. It's been tough sledding for Pinball Clemens in the return game. Back to Toronto after this. Jay Barker remains at quarterback for the Argos. He took most of the reps in practice this week, sort of sharing them with Jimmy Kemp, and they practiced the red zone all week, but it's still been a frustration for them.
Well, they're just having a lot of problems. Good pressure, good coverage by the Calgary secondary. Jimmy Kemp on this doesn't force it, takes off. Good coverage, though. Let's give credit where credit's due. Chris is all over Tyrone Brown. Daryl Mitchell here gets a little step on Jackie Kellogg, but again, they're just not clicking on all cylinders right there.
Mitchell open, ball overthrown on that play from Barker. Kemp started the game, but has watched from the sidelines since the second quarter. Here's the shuttle pass to Daryl Mitchell. That was golden last week against BC, but read by Mark Gunn and the rest of the Calgary defense there.
Oh, they read that like a fairy tale book. I mean, they saw that coming. They stayed at home, and they met Daryl Mitchell in the hole. This is not even pretty. I mean, you got to try and get a situation. You've got to create a seam right here. You can't do that. Number 91, Mark Gunn, stays at home and actually pushes the defender back, the offensive lineman. There is no seam, therefore no play.
Second down and 10, Argos, 6 receiver set. Barker now indecisive, bails it out to Ryan Terry. He's open and has a first down and more. Ryan Terry following the block of Andre Kerwin, forced out of bounds at the Calgary 33. A 29-yard gain by the running back, rookie Terry.
Well, the nice thing that I like about Jay Barker, he steps up in the pocket. He can't find nothing. He's looking around. He's checking one receiver. He sees, oh, I got a rush coming here. I got to take over. Great presence of mind to know where the yard line is. The line of scrimmage. Throws the ball. Finds Terry. Good field of vision. Terry turns it up for a nice big gain.
5 receivers set with Clemens. Wide right. Handoff to Ryan Terry. Right side. Another big first down across the 15 to about the 13-yard line of the Stampeders. And back into the red zone they go.
Well, this is another team that hasn't run the ball very much today. Ryan Terry only had 7 carries for 31 yards in the first half. But the big boys up front, Steve Salter, Dave Mudge, this is just a nice job. Look at this hole. Look at that hole. I'm telling you what I can run through there. That's a great job at the point of attack of creating a seam and letting Ryan Terry do what he does best, and that's take it down.
Argos threatening, no touchdowns inside the red zone in this game. Barker rolling, pressure, sidearm, it's complete. Daryl Mitchell has it and is rocked at the goal line. What a catch.
What a catch, and we saw the same play with Paul Mazzotti last time these two teams met. Threw the ball, Mazzotti thought he was going to get a touchdown. Greg Ferris comes up and dislodges the football. Dylan Mitchell, no, look at the sidearm throw. Great concentration, hangs onto the football, gives them excellent field position, and I think the red zone woes are about to come to an end.
Split second between the ball making contact with Mitchell and then getting rocked by Frères. It is first and goal, Argos. At the Calgary 1-yard line, there are 4 running backs stacked in an I formation behind Jay Barker. Argos showing 4 backs. They split now, leaving Terry alone. He'll get the handoff. Touchdown, Argos! Jay Barker directs the first touchdown drive of this football game. Ryan Terry from the 1-yard line with his first touchdown of the season, of his career here in Toronto. And that is only the second touchdown scored by an Argo running back this season.
Well, it could have come at a better time. They talked about the fact that they're not producing in the red zone. But I am really impressed. 2 big plays by Jay Barker, using great field of vision and presence of where he is on the field to throw the football, and the strength of his arm mark, sidearm. Phenomenal.
Point after by Dan Giancola is good. Refreshments for the rookie. Ryan Terry gets the game's first touchdown. A 62-yard drive in 5 plays, and the Argos open a lead here in the third quarter. Ryan Terry lighting up the Argo offense with the first touchdown of the game. A plunge at the goal line.
Well, just a nice job. They got a whole bunch of guys lined up, receivers. They all split. That's supposed to take the linebackers out of there, create a little opening, but the O-line do a great job. Chad Folk, the center, at the point of attack, just a nice job of keeping Kevin Johnson in the backfield and scores with his man. And as a result, Ryan Terry gets a nice touchdown.
The return now on the kickoff. It's Kelvin Anderson bowling his way over the 40-yard line, and good field position for the Stampeders. Another look at the strong man, Chad Folk, who benches 570 pounds.
Well, benches 570 pounds and just does a nice job. I mean, you got to create a seam. That's all you have to do on the goal line. We're not asking to score with your man, but if you can score with your man, which means that you put your defender in the end zone with the ball carrier, you know what? That's a bonus mark for you tomorrow when the offensive line coach grades your film.
So some confidence for the Argo offense as Calgary goes to work here. Dickinson at his own 43, hand off to Kelvin Anderson. Lots of room, and Chris, this is the same kind of play that Robert Drummond ran to success last week with BC. Let's go down to Tom Harrington.
Well, Mark, there have been a lot of heads shaking on the Calgary sideline, especially on offense. I asked Alan Pitts, is it the Toronto defense or is it you guys? He paused and he said, you know, we're just not playing the way we're capable of playing. Mark?
Well, the Stampeders have high expectations for themselves. 9-4 record, 1 game behind the BC Lions in the West, and they are the defending Grey Cup champions. The handoff is to Kelvin Anderson. More room again, and the running game comes alive for Calgary.
And this is exactly what they have to do. I mean, it's easy to sit up here and be a quarterback coach or a coach, but I tell you what, you know that you have to run the football, get your offensive linemen involved, pull those linebackers tight to the line of scrimmage. As you can see the emotion right now. Travis Moore coming out.
Looks like an eye gouge or something.
Aubrey Cummings coming back in, but the nicest thing now is you'll open it up for your receivers running routes. I still think you got to stretch this defense a little bit. Get Alan Pitts involved, get Travis Moore involved, get your wideouts involved.
Dwayne Ford out of the game at fullback. Andre Arlane, number 82, in as the Stampeders load up on receivers. 5 receivers. Kelvin Anderson, who doubles as a receiver in the backfield. He'll get the handoff again. Calgary showing pass, but they'll run for 5 yards. And as I just mentioned, Chris, Robert Drummond had a field day last week with the same kind of play.
Well, it's just deep handoffs. They give the ball a little bit and let him, because of his great athletic ability, find the place to go with the football. He can cuts on a dime, he finds openings, and the thing about him is he's always keeping his legs going. He'll change direction, he'll come back, make people miss him. You've got to wrap him up. This play is here. He scores a touchdown. Robert Drummond did it all for the BC Lions last week.
Anderson with 23 yards in the first half. He already has 39 here early in the second. Lots of time. Flag on the play. Dickinson has the ball batted down, and then he's dropped by Demetrius Maxey.
Well, I believe they're going to call Jamie Crysdale, number 67, for holding on Fred Perry. They went down in a heap, and the flag came right out after that, and that's usually a good indication.
Holding, Calgary number 50, penalties decline, 3rd down.
Well, I apologize to Jamie, his partner in crime, Jay McNeil, and of course they're very frustrated. They want to make sure things go, and that's Jay right there. He's just looking for somebody to help right there, and as you can see, takes him down. And I don't know about that call, to tell you the truth. That's not a hold. A lot of times the line judge sees the guy go down and says that's a holding penalty. That was just a good punch by Jay McNeil, and Jay, I got to stick up for you on that one, buddy. That was a bad call.
Both linemen stick together, it seems. Here's the punt. Martino hesitates for a minute, then angles a spiral to the corner to Adrian Smith. And it goes out inside the goal line for a single. So Calgary claws one back, but they're down by 12. Jay Barker ready to go back to work after engineering the game's first touchdown. Chris, there were 3 key plays, all involving Ryan Terry.
Well, I tell you, that nice handoff right here. He gets a great opening by Dave Mudge, and Steve Salter turns it up for a nice thing. Then has this is presence of mind to throw the football. Know where the line of scrimmage is, sees it again, finds Ryan Terry out in the flats. He does what he does best, takes out there, and why not cap it off? Ryan Terry takes it in for a nice 1-yard plunge to give him a touchdown, but more importantly, to break those red zone woes.
The anatomy of the Argos' first touchdown drive, and indeed the red zone jinx finally snapped by this Argo team. Ryan Terry figuring prominently in the Argo offense here in the second half. 50 of those yards in the last drive counted by him. 6 receiver set, blitz, hitch pass, Daryl Mitchell makes a move, free, first down and lots of territory. Daryl Mitchell across center field and finally hit by William Hampton.
Well,
there's a flag on the play.
Well, I think it's going to go against Calgary. It looked like 92 Steve Anderson jumped offside. The question will be whether he was drawn offside.
Offside. Calgary number 92.
You nailed it.
Decline. First down.
He just a little overzealous, a little overeager to get to the quarterback at that time. But what I'm really seeing here, I'm seeing a little spark in the Toronto offense right now. And they're trying to do some great things right there. He's just at the top, just gets a little jump on him right there, tries to beat or anticipate the count, and gets caught.
28-yard gain as Buono continues to smolder on the Calgary sideline. First down, Arcos across center field. Play action pass. Barker throws it behind Mitchell this time, had him open. Close coverage on the play by Shadwick Chris again.
The thing that he's doing is what I like is he's coming around right now. Fred showed us on the side a little concern with what's happening with his offense. He wants to get on track a little bit. They got to get some points to stay in the game. But what I like what Jay Barker's doing is he's going outside. He's putting pressure on the defense now. He can either run with the football or he can throw the football. The defenders aren't sure, should I come up and force Jay or stay back with my man? It's giving him extra time to find the receiver.
Barker good on 50% of his passes for 110 yards, but Chris, that was a blown opportunity. He had lots of time to make the read.
And he had an open receiver in Mitchell.
2nd and 10 Argos. Here comes the blitz. Barker, quarterback draw across the 45-yard line, but short, well short of the first down. But is it close enough for a field goal attempt?
Well, that's a good question, Mark, especially with the dome being open now. There is a little bit of a swirling wind in here now that normally wouldn't be a factor if it was closed. But a nice job of Jay Barker to take off with that football. Greg Frères with the quarterback or the safety blitz is coming beating for him right there. He sees it, pulls the ball down, figures if the safety gets blocked, I can go for a long period of time and keep running. Nice job of limiting it. Now they're going to punt the football away.
Indeed, it'll be Prefontaine punting. He'll angle it. A line drive to the 5-yard line, and a beautiful coffin corner punt by Noel Prefontaine in bad field position for Calgary. 17-5 Argos. There's Jeff Fairholm, the receivers coach, talking with Jay Barker on the sideline. Calgary on their own 5. Handoff. Kelvin Anderson. He might have a couple, but the entire Argo offense, save 3 players, was waiting for him. The defense.
Roger Dunbrack, number 73, does an excellent job of skating or flowing down the line, reading the play. Comes off the block, makes the play. This is what you teach your linemen. Watch 73 right here, following the play, and he runs into, lets him take him right into the running back. Nice job of Dunbrack reading that and making the play.
Dunbrack, the sophomore out of Western. Now the Argo fans beginning to raise the level. Dickinson in trouble, will run. Shoestring tackle on the play, and he'll be short of the first down.
What I'm seeing here is a #1 offense in the Canadian Football League playing back on their heels and catching and not delivering. Everybody's coming after him. They're not giving him any field of vision. They're running into him. He's got to pull the ball down. He can't get any looks to see where he can throw the football. Very, very frustrating if you're back there as a quarterback.
Well, the Argos, with the best punter in the game, try to use field position to their advantage. And now when you've got the defense playing so well, the best defense in the league, it was wise to punt the ball the way they did and pin Calgary deep. And now they'll get the ball back at least at center field. That's where Mike Pinball Clemens is standing as Guano stands on the sidelines on the Calgary bench.
Stay outside, buddy. Stay outside.
He was visibly upset at halftime with the performance of his offense.
Beat him up front. Beat him up front. Beat him.
Pinball
Beat him.
at the Calgary 50 across the 45. Makes a move, tries to get outside, and then Daryl Hall grabs him and stops him in his tracks. There's Marcus Dowdell on the Calgary bench, frustrated as Barker goes back to work. Flag on the play. Ryan Terry has the dump pass and is close to a first down, and it's coming back, holding the call against the Argos.
Well, the big man, Martin Gunn, all 6'5" and 280 pounds of him, felt like he was being held or illegally inhibited from getting to the quarterback, and the referee saw that and
Holding. Toronto, number 56. First down repeated.
calls Mr. Chad Folk, the center of that offensive line, with an illegal grab.
So it'll be first down and 20 as the ball moves back to the Calgary 54. We'd like to know who you think is the top Canadian football player of all time. Is it Russ Jackson? Is it Tony Gabriel? Is it Glenn Weir? Is it Chris Walby? Let us know. Vote on our CFL on CBC website. First and long. Handoff. Ryan Terry negotiating yardage. And a big move. Still going. Across the first down marker. Ryan Terry has some blockers, including Jay Barker to the 5. Touchdown, Argos. A first and 20 situation. Handoff to Ryan Terry, and he rumbles 54 yards for the touchdown. And one of the lead blockers, the quarterback, Jay Barker.
Hey, I tell you what, God bless the running game. You gotta love it sitting up here. What a beautiful job of giving Ryan Terry the football. The offensive line allows him to break through the first line of defense, and he does the rest. And as you say, he goes downfield and picks up an entourage of blocking, and led by none other than Jay Barker. And I tell you what, if you want to see excitement, the Toronto Argonauts, they are happy right now.
The convert from Giancola is good. And with 1:54 to play in the third quarter, the Argos now put a stranglehold on the Stampeders. Another look at that 54-yard run.
Well, just a great hole at the point of attack, and he does the rest. Look at this. I mean, he's got a bad ankle. He was talking about the fact that Antonio Armstrong last week had twisted it. Didn't know if he could cut that well. But look at down here. Look at the guys blocking. Jay Barker, Paul Mazzotti, all walking him into the end zone. That's what team is about. That makes chemistry. They're going to watch that play tomorrow 100 times when they view this film, and they're going to enjoy it. Look at I mean, the cuts are phenomenal, right? He's got people turning around left and right. William Hampton, he's got to go back, pick up his shoe. Jackie Kellogg's not going to catch him. And I tell you, the rest is history. And his second touchdown of the game for Ryan Terry, who came in today's game with 0 on the year.
And how about these numbers, Chris? 3 carries for 75 yards in the second half. He now has 106 yards on the ground so far in this game. And there's Jay Barker taking a page out of Doug Flutie's playbook with a block there to help lead the way. And Paul Mazzotti was in there too, almost got trampled in the traffic. Everybody helping out on this Argo offense.
Well, you love to see it. That's what makes you a good team, is when everybody, if you're not catching the football, you're doing something else to help contribute to your team's success. And Paul Mazzotti gave a great example of getting downfield and sacrificing your body for the betterment of your football team.
Well, now the pressure is on the Calgary offense. They've got to get something going. Mazzotti and the Argos have come to life with 2 touchdowns, both by Ryan Terry here in the second half. Prefontaine squibs his kickoff. A 1 bounce taken by Rock Preston across the 30-yard line, and then hit head on at the 40 and dropped immediately. The rookie Ryan Terry, and his numbers have been spectacular. 10 rushes, as I mentioned, for 106 yards and his first 2 touchdowns of the season.
And we talked about halftime. Give him the football. Just a little late handoff right there. Let him find the opening. Goes to left, cuts to the right. Makes another beautiful cut. Makes guys miss. And the legs are churning. And then, of course, as we talked about, he's got an entourage of guys in blue. A sea of blue, as it were, walking him into the end zone. And you know he's going to enjoy that.
Dickinson in the shotgun. Bails from the pocket. Tripped up. And so frustration continues for the Calgary offense, a high-powered offense that has not been firing here this afternoon.
Well, it's a high-powered offense, and they have ran the football well when they've run the football, but they are getting manhandled on the pass rush by the Toronto defense. They're just putting a lot of pressure on Dickinson, making him, forcing him to pull the ball back down and not allowing him to make the proper decisions to throw the football.
Maxey with his second sack of the game. The loss is 4. 2nd and 14, Stampeders. More pressure and another sack. Fred Perry and Jermaine Haley sandwich Dickinson, and he's taking another beating from this Toronto defense.
Well, he's taking another beating. I tell you what, Toronto's defense, Toronto's offense, let's talk about Toronto's team in a whole, are having FUN, and that is fun. Right now, both guys in the corner are going to come here. There's Perry down there. Watch him come. He just does a nice job of swimming. There you see Jermaine Haley beats his man, number 50, Jay McNeil. They meet in the backfield. They meet in the crossroads, and they have a Dickinson sandwich.
The loss is 10. And so Martino punts from his own 15. Adrian Smith back, has it at the 45. Didn't look like he had 5 yards on that play, Chris.
Well, he didn't have 5 yards, but I think right now you can see Dave Dickinson's very frustrated right now. He's not being allowed the opportunity to succeed right now. They're frustrated. They're saying, I got to get, you know, he's mad. He wants to get that football to people. He needs the time to get it to him. Right now he's not happy. He's going to, they're saying, what do we got to do to take some of the heat off us? Maybe they got to run a screen pass. Maybe a couple draws, but you got to do something to take the heat of that front 7 of the Argonauts off your offense.
Well, this team, this Calgary team, Mike Roach, the defensive coach, and there's, again, more frustration on the face of Dickinson. They lead the league in quarterback sacks, and it's happening again here this afternoon. The jumbo offense is in for the Argos. That means Adrian Smith at quarterback and all the big men on the line. Flags, whistles, and the play will not get off.
Timeout, Calgary.
Oh, and so the Stampeders, perhaps confused on the play, call a timeout.
You know, when things don't go, and I don't mean to laugh, when things don't go right, I think there's a little bit of frustration. Things happen right now. You can see a defense coordinator, Mike Roach, Wally Buono right there. They're talking. They're trying to get things straight. What do we got to do to get things organized here?
Here's Tom.
Well, guys, the sideline, as you mentioned, is a bit chaotic for the Stampeders. There's a great deal of pride on the line here today, and there's a sense of shock. What's happening to us? Wally Buono was talking to Kevin Johnson, the rookie middle linebacker who's replacing Alondra Johnson, an emotional leader who I think they miss in the sidelines right now. He said just relax and play, which is probably good advice for the entire Stampeder defense and offense for that matter.
Well, that's interesting, Tom, because Johnson is responsible for calling the offensive fronts that they're seeing against the Argo team. That's a job that AJ had. And the jumbo continues. Adrian Smith turns, pivots, and runs straight up the middle for a gain of maybe 4 or 5 yards on the play. It looks like total chaos when that jumbo operation goes.
What they do is, though, Adrian has a number of options. On this one, he does a double handoff. He does a complete pirouette. He just goes around in a big circle and follows the blocking as it goes up the hole. I mean, he can take the ball, fake the handoff, and throw the football. He's thrown passes to Roger Dunbrack. He's handed the football off to Demetrius Maxey. He's handed the football off to Jermaine Haley. This is a very diversified, very mysterious type of formation.
Well, it's 2nd and about 7 now, and the jumbo offense stays in. This time, it's a roll right. Adrian Smith is sacked. That's Jason Clement, the third-year man who is getting his break, his start at the outside linebacker position after the injury to Alondra Johnson. Kevin Johnson moving to the middle, and Clement strong on the outside there. A 6-yard loss And the Argos will turn it over with a punt at the quarter as we get ready for the fourth. It's 24-5. The Argonauts in front of the Stampeders on the strength of Ryan Terry.
Meet Jonathan, a War Amps champ. He lost his leg in a lawnmower accident when he was 3. Now he warns other kids to play safe. Jonathan thanked the Alouettes and the CFL for their support of the Play Safe program.
Spot the danger before you play.
Play safe.
Play safe.
Back at the Sky Dome, where Ryan Terry has rejuvenated the running game for the Argos. 2 touchdowns here today. His first 2 touchdowns, and the first 2 touchdowns ever by a running back. Burris is the only guy, the fullback, with touchdowns on this team.
Well, just, you know, not only does he carry the ball, he catches the ball. And that's one of the things they liked out of training camp is the fact he's got great hands, and when he gets the football, he's got great vision, as evidenced by this running play right here. The ability to break tackles, to make people miss you, that's a gift. It's just not a given. You got to work on it. He does a great job of showing his skill in that run.
Ryan Terry, the rookie out of Iowa. A lot of people are comparing him with Mike Saunders, who also came out of Iowa, a fluid running back. Prefontaine booms a punt deep over the head of Rock Preston. He'll get a bounce to the goal line, and it stops dead on the 1. Rolling back, and the Argos get an Argo bounce. What a punt. Rolling out at the 2-yard line. And so again, this Calgary offense, frustrated today, will have to start deep.
Well, I think you hit it on the head. I don't think there's any better way to describe the way that ball bounced over. 65-yard punt, goes over Rock Preston's heads. He's figuring, well, the worst scenario is it's going to roll in the end zone. Oh, sorry, Rock, I'm coming back the other way, as you say, rolls out on the 2-yard line. And indeed, Calgary finds itself not only behind the scoreboard, but way deep, starting a drive in their territory.
Prefontaine owns the longest punt in the CFL this year with 88. That one, as you mentioned, 65, and the Argos now trying to run out of their end zone, or rather Calgary. And it's Kelvin Anderson who manages to negotiate himself for a first down and more. Across the 20-yard line, Anderson showing some fight, shining his golden tooth. Nearly broke free there, Chris.
Well, I tell you, you got to love this guy. I mean, this is hard. You want to talk about a warrior, a guy that comes to play. I mean, this should have been stuffed back at the line. The line gets there. There's nothing there. He can't see nothing. He has to make a cut. He makes Maxey move. Then he has to come back in. Look at the head contact. He runs into Lundus Price one-on-one. Great job of keeping your feet driving and do what you got to do to get your team moving.
Dickinson goes back to Anderson with a dump pass. He'll be very close to the first down. It's rather Mike McCoy into the game as they've made a quarterbacking change, Calgary has. Well, they try to shake this team up. The young man who came into this team as an investment broker and won 3 in a row.
And you know what? He did come in the second half of last week, last time these 2 guys played, and he played very well in that second half. So they know he's got some good leadership. He's got some great skill.
And it was Mike McCoy who led the rally to beat the Argos 29-26 3 weeks ago in Calgary. Anderson rumbling again, beginning to find his footing, and another first down for Calgary. So they're digging themselves out, starting on their own 2. Mike McCoy's numbers have been superb for a guy who's never played in the Canadian Football League. 5 touchdowns against 1 interception.
And I think that's the biggest kudos to the guy that he's never played in the CFL. A lot of quarterbacks come up from the States. You have to get used to that extra guy, the 12th man, as it were, and have a real hard time adjusting to it. He's found success with it.
All right, he'll have the fourth quarter to try to bring Calgary back. Complete to Rock Preston, right at the line of scrimmage. And the Argos fill immediately to bring him down for little or no gain.
Well, they fill immediately, but the biggest thing about Coach Jim Barker's defense and Gary Echeverry, who's the defensive coordinator, is their team speed. They've got phenomenal team speed. There's nobody there all of a sudden. There's 1 guy, 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys. The whole team comes over. They're taught. They do drills in practice. They'll throw the ball, and they all have to run there and tag it. That's evidence on that play.
Second and about 9.5. McCoy in the shotgun, dumps it off to Alan Pitts. Pitts dives for the first down marker, and this will be close. It looks like they're going to mark him back, Chris, about 2 yards from where the ball is.
That's an interesting mark, and I don't think he's very happy about that mark because he kind of caught the football and dove to try and get to the first down marker. Interesting decision here by Wally Buono. Do we go for it? Because we got to get some life now in the fourth quarter here. Just a little dump pass to Alan Pitts. We haven't called his name much today, but I think you got to start getting the football to this guy because he is a man that will make things happen for you.
Third down gamble for the Stampeders. Third and about 2 at their own 46. Dwayne Ford into the game. Whistled down. Flags on the play. And they may have used too much time on the clock.
Time count. Calgary, number 19. Third down.
Well, that's where the 13th man or the fans come into play on that play. They're very boisterous, very loud. Jay Barker is calling out plays. May have been audibling, checking to another play. Fortunately, you only have 20 seconds to get it off, and that's just a very unfortunate for their offense to get a time count because now they have to punt the football away.
On third down, you don't lose it down, you lose 5 yards, so that made it 3rd and 7 as Martino punts it away, angling it for the sideline. Pinball Clemens takes it on the run and then is forced out at about the 31-yard line. And so good field position for the Argos as they go back on offense, and what looked like a promising drive by Calgary falls short on a time count violation. They had been 2 for 2 on third down gambles, Chris.
Well, this is going to work out to Calgary's.
Number 38, first down.
Toronto's got a holding penalty, so they're going to be pushed back even farther. Now it's going to be up to Calgary to hold them, get their offense ball, get it back for them right now, and they got to get some points on the board.
Well, the word on Dave Dickinson being replaced is not a health issue, although his long-term health may be the question because he's been getting pounded by the Argos defense. Coach Wally Buono simply wanted to switch up, much like Jim Barker did with Kemp and Barker in the first half. So Mike McCoy, who's a big, strong fella, comes in to take over a quarterback, light a fire, but also perhaps give Dave Dickinson a bit of a rest. He's taking a pounding today, guys.
Argos, though, will have the ball at their own 15-yard line. Play action. Barker will run, has some room, puts his shoulder down, and is close to the 25-yard line. Challenging Marvin Coleman on the corner.
Nice job of Jay Barker. You know, getting back to Dickinson a little bit, though, I mean, here's your #1 quarterback, and this is the second week in a row this Calgary offense, which is supposed to be ranked #1, has not scored a touchdown from Dickinson through the air. He's thrown 2 interceptions last week and 2 today. So he's really having a little struggle near the end of the season here.
Second and about 2.5 for the Argos. They'll stay on the ground. Ryan Terry has the first down. Kevin Johnson, the tackle for Calgary. Back down to Tom.
Mark, I was talking to Ryan Terry on the Argos bench before going in for this series and asking him how to explain this great performance, and he said Coach Jim Barker had told all his players to be accountable. He felt that last week against BC, too many players were caring about their teammates instead of their own jobs. He said, focus on your job, and you can take care of the matters, and Ryan Terry and the Argos have done that today for Jim Barker.
Well, Jim Barker says he wants his quarterback to play within a structure. The quarterback, at least the offense, shouldn't have to depend on him to win games. And now Barker breaks a tackle, and then one hops the ball to Paul Masadi, who looked like he was open just across the first down marker on the sideline.
Well, that's a nice job of Jason Clement staying at home, not getting fooled by the bootleg. He's just going to fake it, little play action pass, pull it in Ryan Terry's stomach, take off to the outside. He's hoping to get the outside, but number 6, Jason Clement, stays at home. Almost wraps him up, but forces to the outside, and Jay Barker unfortunately skips the football to Mazzati, and he did have him open and could have kept it moving.
Clement getting a great chance to play in this defense. Broke a finger in training camp, then pulled a groin in midseason. He says, or at least Buono says, he would have started had he not been injured. The handoff to Ryan Terry, up the gut, and another flag is down. Shy of the first down, Terry was, by at least 4 yards. Here's the call from referee Glenn Johnson. No, it's going to go against the Argos, and now he's conferring with Calgary.
It's definitely a holding call.
Holding. Toronto, number 68. Penalties decline. Third down.
Steve Salter, the third-year man out of Ottawa U, cut for holding, Chris.
And a smart decision of Calgary to decline a penalty, because don't put him back, give him another opportunity to run a play. Put it back, get their offensive ball right here. You can see right there he is right there. He's just hanging on, hanging on, hanging on. Doesn't let him go right there. The referee, the line judge, just throws a flag.
Line drive punt taken by Marvin Coleman at the 38 across the 45-yard line and just shy of the 50. And so the Stampeders with Mike McCoy at quarterback will scrimmage with good field position here in the fourth. Mike McCoy off the bench at quarterback for Calgary. He has just under 9 minutes to engineer a comeback, but he's done it before. 3 weeks ago in fine fashion against these Argonauts. 8:50 and the clock ticking. McCoy with time. On a rope to Travis Moore, and Kelly Wiltshire makes the tackle. This was the scene 3 weeks ago with a minute to go in the ball game. Mike McCoy at quarterback for the injured Dave Dickinson, going deep to a wide open Marcus Dowdell. That shocker set up the game-winning touchdown in the final seconds as the Stampeders came back to beat the Argos 29-26. McCoy bobbling the shotgun. Nearly intercepted, but there's a flag on the play, and it might be pass interference as Danielson is protesting at midfield.
Well, good call, Mark. That's exactly what's happening. He was knocked flat on his pattern route, and he's complaining that he's been interrupted with the way he was running it.
Illegal contact on a receiver. Toronto, number 26. First down.
Kelly Wiltshire, yes.
Nice job of calling it, Mark. You saw it like the eagle eye you are.
You know, speaking of comebacks, McCoy ended his college career by throwing a game-winning touchdown in the final minute of the Freedom Bowl to beat the Arizona Wildcats 16-13, playing for Utah. McCoy will go deep, wide open, Travis Moore! Oh, no good! What a comeback by the veteran Donald Smith, because Moore was open, the ball was thrown late.
That's something we talked about earlier, that I felt that they really had to stretch this defense, go deep, see if they can get a break. They had Travis Moore, they had him open earlier today, couldn't get the football to him fast enough. Same situation, he's wide open, he wants the ball now. The ball, because it takes too long to get there, Donald Smith, the savvy veteran that he is, closes on it and eliminates that from being a big touchdown for the Calgary Stampeders.
And so it's 2nd and 10. McCoy in the shotgun. Will roll. Pressure now from Perry. And he's out of bounds. Makes the throw. Is it complete? They're saying it's a complete pass. And a first down. It looked, though, like he may have stepped out of bounds, Chris.
When you got a big man, and this Mike McCoy's no small guy, he's 6'3", 205, and all his momentum as he's being chased by Fred Perry is taking him out of bounds. As he runs out of bounds, he looks down, sees it, and throws the football. Look, his feet are right there. They're not out of bounds as he throws the football. He's in the air. Nice call, nice job, moving the sticks.
Looks like an NBA play. Crowd doesn't like it, but it's a completion and a first down. McCoy stays in, open. It's Cummings, and another first down as he goes out of bounds at about the Argo 19, and so McCoy's got them marching.
Well, I tell you, the composure thing is unbelievable. We've seen it last week when Jay Barker came in for Kemp, but Mike McCoy, this is the second time we've seen him come in. He just sits back there with the poise of a veteran, finds the guys, knows what he's doing, and it almost seems like he's getting better protection from the offensive line right now.
And his receivers are getting open. First down, Calgary. Inside the Toronto 20, McCoy complete again to Vince Danielson, who puts his head down at the 10.
Well, the thing that I really like about Mike McCoy is very evident from this drive is when he makes a decision, baby, he makes it now and the ball is gone. He is not waiting with that football, and as a result, Vince Danielson on this play finds the opening, turns, and the ball is right there. That's exactly how you want to do it. Don't give the defense an opportunity to react.
2nd Danielson down at about 2. Danielson has it again for the first down at the 5-yard line. There's a flag on the play, and it might be a pick. This might be coming back.
Well, that's exactly what they're calling. Travis Moore coming inside, picking the guy, letting Vince Danielson go outside.
Forward pass interference, Calgary, number 83, second down repeated.
Exactly what we talked about. Travis Moore trying to clear it out. Run a little route, run a little distraction, get in the way of the defender that's covering Vince Danielson. Does a great job. Danielson makes a catch, but it's all for naught as it came back.
So now it's second and about 12. And a huge second down play here from McCoy. Play action. Dowdell has it, breaks a tackle, puts his head down, but can't get to the first down marker, drops the ball, but the officials say it was blown dead. Very close to the 10. The first down markers at about the 8.
Great initial blocking by the receiving core of the Calgary Stampeders to get Dowdell close to the first down marker. He's going to come up 2 yards short. And again, we're in a situation right now where they have to gamble on third down.
Let's listen in. No, we're going to keep going here. Third down and 2. Stamps converted 2 third down gambles before, then lost the ball on a time count. He's got a man open. Complete to Cummings. Touchdown! Cummings stretching his arm out across the goal line. And the Stampeders hit the end zone for the first time this afternoon.
The first time this afternoon, and Mike McCoy, I tell you, I think they're going to go for 2 points. Just a great job of throwing the football where Aubrey Cummings can catch it. He does the rest on his own by going for the end zone and using the length of his body to stretch over and break the plane. Just a nice job. He throws it cross field. This is not an easy throw. And he's going to stretch out and get the football to cross the line of scrimmage, the plane, the goal line, and score a touchdown.
So 2 tremendously athletic plays, one by McCoy to stay in bounds, and that stretch from the 5-yard line by Cummings for the touchdown. Here's the 2-point conversion attempt. McCoy, it's complete to Travis Moore for a 2-point convert, and the Stampeders have some life. With 5:25 to play in the football game, Mike McCoy engineering a 61-yard scoring drive on 6 plays, and it's 24-13 Toronto. Travis Moore on his way to a 1,000-yard season receiving with a 2-point convert to pull Calgary to within 11 points.
Well, it's a 2-point conversion. Everybody's going to slant to the inside of the field. All your receivers are going to do that. As they do that, they pull everybody in tight, allowing Travis Moore to run a little slant to the goalpost. Becomes wide open, one-on-one coverage from Byron Capers. Nice throw, and again, it's a timing route. Great throw quickly by the quarterback, Mike McCoy.
How about these numbers? McCoy good on 10 of 11 throws for 82 yards and a touchdown. Tyrone Brown at his own 15-yard line. They're setting up a wall right, the Argos are, but Roger Reinson crashes that party with the tackle from behind. Here's another look at the touchdown, Chris, to Aubrey Cummings.
Well, it's a throw across field. That's the biggest thing that's got to impress you about the arm strength of Mike McCoy. And then, of course, the athletic ability, being tackled by Donald Smith, but Aubrey Cummings stretching out, getting the ball across the goal line to score that point. Not being denied would be the point there, Mark. I can get that close. I'm going to take it all away.
Drive consumed nearly 4 minutes off the clock. 5:09 and counting left in the game. As Cummings shouts some encouragement from the Calgary bench. Ryan Terry on the ground, and he continues to find leaks in that Calgary defense.
Well, he finds leaks, but he's getting a great job of help by the offensive lineman up front. They're doing a real nice job of giving him an initial seam to run through, and then the rest of it is being done by Ryan Terry, who's doing this duking and juking and making people miss. But look, he got a hat on a hat. Everybody's got a hat on a hat. He breaks a tackle. Nice job of Steven Salter of staying on the block and allowing that initial hole to happen.
Salter, of course, subbing for Chris Giaskis, missing his second game with bruised ribs. The handoff to Darren Joseph, the fullback, and there was nowhere to go on that short yardage situation. This will be very close, but he appears to be shy of the first down marker. Yes, Shy by about 1.5 yards. About a yard.
About a yard short. Yeah. Darren Joseph's not happy with that because he thought, I got to get the first down. He knows how important it is right now. The fact that Calgary took the ball down smartly last offensive drive and scored a touchdown. Toronto's saying we got to keep the ball now on offense. Keep them off the field, use up as much of the clock as possible. They didn't do it. Prefontaine's got to use that booming leg of his now to try and get a great kick.
Kelvin Anderson waiting to go back to work as Prefontaine shanks this one on the bounce. It's Rock Preston at his 38. Up the middle, spins, and is dropped immediately for a short return. Here's Tom Harrington.
Well, Mark, Thanksgiving Monday, 2 servings of the CFL on CBC. At 1 Eastern time, it's the Western Rough Riders in Montreal. The Owls trying to wrap up first place in the Eastern Conference. Then at 4 Eastern time, it's Edmonton at BC. The Lions with the CFL's best record. The Eskimos in danger of missing the playoffs. And wouldn't that be a shocker for Don Matthews and company? Guys?
Yes, and implications in the West. Should Winnipeg continue to come on, they could cross over and grab that 3rd playoff spot.
Well, that's a big thing, Mark. They've run 2 in a row, and I know they're going to have a great crowd on Sunday when they play the Hamilton Tiger Cats, so watch out.
Says the former Blue Bomber. McCoy complete to Kelvin Anderson, and he's rocked on the play by Martavius Houston, the leading tackler on this Argo defense.
Rocked on the play, but still picking up 4 yards, 5 yards on the first down. Good first down production. Not wasting it down, not putting yourself in 2nd and long now.
Stampeders must also manage the clock, and time is ticking as McCoy stays in the hurry-up. McCoy waiting, pumping, has a man open. It's Pitts at the first down marker right at center field.
Well, it's Pitts making the catch, and I mean, this is a veteran, this is savvy, this is experience of shielding the ball. If you want a better description, I mean, he just catches the football, he curls almost in a fetal position, takes the ball, knows exactly where the first down marker is. That's just exceptional, knowing the field by Alan Pitts. He shields it, look, it leaves his feet, lands just at the first down marker.
3 minutes to go in the game, lots of time in the CFL. McCoy will run, he'll slide for a short gain, maybe 3 yards on the play.
Well, nothing to do right there, but I tell you what, he throws the ball well, but for a big man, he runs ugly.
Back in Toronto with 2:54 in the game, and look at these numbers. Mike McCoy has missed only once in 13 attempts, 92 yards and 1 touchdown, and they put the ball in the hands of the backup again in Calgary. We've seen this script before. Dave Dickinson will watch from the sidelines now, the starter. A frustrating afternoon for him. McCoy, though, with a huge passing situation. 6 receivers, 2nd and 8 at center field. Here comes the blitz, and he's sacked.
I'll tell you what, Mark, I don't know if you heard that on your TV sets at home, but there was a train whistle coming, because I tell you what, they just came. Fred Perry and company are just rolling, moling right over. Look at this, they just get on Ray and take him back. That's a big man, 99 Jermaine Haley. They're just pushing him right back like that. You've got to give your quarterback some protection. Allow him to throw that football if you want this offense to be successful.
And they will gamble again. 3rd and about 20. Stampeders have no choice. McCoy. Oh, he had Vince Danielson, and it bounces into Alan Pitt's arms. It's a completion. And some horseshoes for the Stampeders.
Well, they have a horse that circles the field every time they score a touchdown. I think Alan Pitts stole one of those shoes off one of those horses, because that was a great play. I'll tell you, you look like it goes through Danielson's, deflected by London's Bryce, right to Alan Pitts, who catches the football and keeps this drive alive. Wow, look at that. Look at the hands.
Great reaction by Alan Pitts to keep his team's hopes alive. The league's all-time receiver, the leader, with a 23-yard catch there.
He could catch an egg from a balcony with those hands. I'm telling you right now, they're soft. He just cradled that football like a baby.
But wait a minute, there's a conference now at the line of scrimmage. The ball looked like it bounced laterally It looked like it was caught before it hit the turf. Jim Barker anxious. He's seen this before. Stampeders coming back 3 weeks ago. Winning 29-26. Here it is again, Chris.
Well, you can see it just goes off. No, it's not really hit by Danielson. It's deflected by Alundis Bryce. It should be a catch. A lot of times what they're looking at is to see if your own player deflects the football. If it hits your player, goes to one of your teammates, they may call that not good. But this one right here, that's definitely deflected by Alundis Bryce, the safety of the Toronto Argonauts. That's a catch.
Now the officials trying to straighten it out. Looks like they've got it settled. The ball is staying at the Toronto 42 with 2:11 to go. And the play will stand. A good call on a great athletic play. McCoy with ice water in his veins. Will pass again, deep. Moore's there, it's intercepted. Adrian Smith with his third pick of the game. Still going across the 20, waits for some blocks to the 30-yard line and finally down to the 31.
Well, a backbreaker for the Calgary Stampeders and Mike McCoy, who's played so sharp there at the quarterback position, goes deep to Travis Moore, and it's just, the ball hangs up again, allows Adrian Smith, who has just made a habit today of coming back with key interceptions. We saw him do it earlier in the game off Vince Danielson. We saw him do it off Marcus Dowdell. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here he does on the other receiver, comes over and steals it from Travis Moore. So he's got his own little highlight film going today.
His third pick of the game, his fifth for the season. And Adrian Smith snuffs out the Calgary drive. Theatrics here in the fourth quarter. Barker will stay on the ground, handing off to Ryan Terry, who seemed to stub his toe on the turf and lose his footing. But Adrian Smith, a red-letter day for him.
Well, I mean, the thing is, he's been all over the field and making great plays. I mean, those are just great athletic interceptions. Coming back, stealing the ball out of a receiver, deflecting the ball and catching it after, as he did on Dowdell's interception. I mean, he's just putting on a one-man show as a cornerback in the CFL. Boy, he's saving Toronto today.
Barker trying to run the clock down. Hands off to Terry again, and there's nowhere to go. And so a punt situation with 1:23 to go in the football game. And Calgary trailing by 11.
The thing, you know what, now, I mean, you know, they're playing a little conservative on offense behind the ball. They really want to get a first down here, Mark, to kill the clock. Effectively, they could kill the clock. But the problem is now they're going to punt it. Mike McCoy with 1 minute and 23 seconds, depending on how much time they get when they actually take over an offense after this punt return, has time in the CFL with the stopping of the clock to put a major on, a two-point conversion, try a short kick, and maybe go in.
So that's what it amounts to. A touchdown, a two-point conversion, and a field goal will tie it.
And of course, Marvin Coleman, you know what he can do when he gets a punt. He can take it back, as he's done twice against Winnipeg this year.
Coleman back, flanked by Rock Preston. Another shank kick to Coleman at the 45-50. Great field position to center field, across the 50 to about the 47-yard line. Chris, let's update your game notes from the start.
Well, there's some things we talked about. We talked about Calgary's offense spreading the football around. They didn't do that. They didn't eliminate the big plays. They played pretty good. They did some good things. But Terry, a big run, obviously, was a big one. Of course, the catching, good job of that for Toronto. No costly turnovers. What I like what they did is they didn't turn the ball over in the second half. First half, though, they did that. And they shut down Anderson because a lot of these yards here were in the second half.
52 seconds to go in the game. McCoy stands at the Toronto 53. Back to center field, rolling. Complete to Dowdell, who steps out of bounds and stops the clock with 46 seconds to go. What a day for Adrian Smith, quarterbacking the jumbo team, but more importantly, the ball hawk on defense with 3 big interceptions. Huge athletic moves. And look at the closing speed on that pick to snuff out that threatening drive by Calgary. And so this secondary, which had been criticized for giving up the big plays, makes them in this game. Here's McCoy, lots of time, sidearms it, Cummings has it very close to a first down at the Toronto 37. 39 seconds to go.
39 seconds to go. Aubrey Cummings tries to stretch out and get that first down marker. They're going to stop the clock because they're going to have to bring it in for a measurement right now to see how close they actually are. And if indeed they do have that first down, but it doesn't matter if they don't. You know they have to go for it. They will go for it, even if it is short.
Wally Buono gesturing to George Cortez, his offensive coordinator, to keep the hurry up going. Keep this team going fast because time is not on their side. 39 seconds to play. And it is a tall order. A touchdown, a two-point convert, and a field goal just to tie against a defense which has been stingy. McCoy in the shotgun. Caught running. Time. It's complete to Cummings again. Stays on his feet for the first down. But he used up 10 seconds on that play. Jay Barker coming off the bench, engineering 2 second-half touchdowns.
A little interesting call there, Mark. I mean, they only need less than a yard. Why they didn't run for it, just huddle up again and go with it right there. As you said, he effectively used 10 seconds on the clock throwing the football.
Play whistled in, and the clock is ticking. It's taken him 6 seconds just to get the snap. Going deep, McCoy to the end zone. Pitch is open, and Adrian Smith breaks it up again.
Well, it's the only guy that he hasn't intercepted a ball off, and that's Alan Pitts. And as you say, great coverage down the field, stride for stride with the king of receivers, Alan Pitts, who still somehow always finds a way to almost come up with that catch. As you see, Adrian Smith gets his hand in there. Does a nice job of reacting to football, but Alan Pitts almost comes up with it again.
You have to wonder, Adrian Smith with a stellar game, 3 picks. Donald Smith coming back after missing 4 games. They haven't thrown at him very much.
Well, and that's a sign of respect. Whenever you look at stats, defensive stats, and you see a guy hasn't got a lot of interceptions, they go, well, maybe he's not playing well. A lot of times it's indicative of the fact that they respect you and they just don't throw the football your way.
8 seconds to go. Stampeders with no chance to win now. McCoy with some pressure, gets it away. It's complete to Cummings again, but that will do it. The clock strikes 0. Ryan Terry's 2 touchdowns, his first of the season, his first of the career. Terry, the boatman to victory here, and a huge upset of the defending Grey Cup champions. The defense, Adrian Smith with 3 interceptions. The big plays in big proportions. And how about Jay Barker?
I think Jay Barker was the difference. He started out slowly, a little high-strung, was missing some things. All of a sudden, he came on the second half on fire, moved the ball. What can you say about this guy, too? Mike McCoy, what a game to come in and almost engineer something. Came in and moved the football down and made a game of it for the Calgary Stampeders.
Well, he burned the Argo defense 3 weeks ago, but he wasn't going to do it a second time as they stood tough. Let's go back down to Tom Harrington.
All right, Mark, with 2 of the key guys for the Argos today. Adrian Smith, 3 interceptions. Ryan Terry, 2 touchdowns. I'll start with you, Adrian. A tremendous game. Why was the defense able to handle the Stamps offense so well today?
We handled them well the last game we played. We just had a mental breakdown the last play of the game, toward the end of the game with a minute left to go. But we knew what they were coming to do. We set ourselves up to be in some good possible situations for us to win the game and play a good defense. Everybody's on the same page, and it just worked out for us today.
3 interceptions. In terms of your career, how does a day like this rank?
Ranks up there pretty high. I had 3 in college a couple of times, but this is the first time I had in the CFL.
Congratulations. Nice game.
Thank you very much.
Adrian Smith, and now Ryan Terry, the new answer in the backfield for the Argos. Ryan, 2 touchdowns. First of all, your thoughts on the game?
Thoughts of the game, I thought the offensive line did a great job. Calgary's defense actually did a better job than what we had expected. They came out early in the game and they stacked the line up. And offensive line, like, we just committed to the run. In the second half, we just said we're going to come out and run the ball. And we got to make some things happen. And just looking back on last week, when I left the game at midway through the second quarter, and my ankle was hurt, and the coaches wanted to hold me out this week, but I was sick when I saw the rushing stats and I left the game, and I just told Coach Barker that I was playing. I told him, I said, Coach Barker, my ankle will be fine. I may have to rest it a couple days going into the Hamilton game, but I said we need a running game, and I said I got to come out and run the ball.
Briefly, Ryan, how important is this to beat the Grey Cup champions?
I think it's very important because we beat a good team. It's not like Calgary is a sorry team. They're one of the best teams in the league. and it feels good. It feels good to come through and beat a good team, and we beat them handily.
Thanks a lot.
And thank you.
Ryan Terry, the stars, the Toronto Argonauts knock off the Grey Cup champion Calgary Stampeders 24-13 at Skydome, sending a very happy Thanksgiving Day crowd home. Very happy. We'll be back with more from Skydome and wrap things up on this Thanksgiving Saturday in just a moment. Don't go away. The Toronto Argonauts avenged that terrible loss against Calgary late in September and come away with a 24-13 victory on Thanksgiving Saturday. On Thanksgiving Monday, 2 servings of CFL on CBC at 1 Eastern. It's the Saskatchewan Roughriders in Montreal to take on the Alouettes. The Owls trying to clinch first place in the Eastern Conference. Then at right 4 Eastern time, right after that one, it's Edmonton at BC. The Lions trying to wrap up first. Edmonton in danger of missing the playoffs. Doubleheader action on Hockey Night in Canada. Battle of 2 undefeated teams. Toronto goes to Ottawa. Also tonight, another all-Canadian matchup. Montreal to Vancouver. St. Louis at Edmonton. At Skydome today, it was Ryan's hope. Ryan Terry and the Argos over the Stampeders. Thanks for watching. So long from Skydome.